The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on this spaces by the hosts are for entertainment purposes only. We're here to review the Joe Budden Podcast we love while kicking their back in with love. We're just potting niggas. What up, though?
How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How about y'all?
I'm good. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? What's good? How everybody doing? JBTV After Hours. Guess who's back? We back.
That's
That part.
That was good.
What's going on? Of course, y'all already know we've been promoting. We got a special guest coming today. We're gonna wait till she come in and get settled and everything. But just to start, follow at JBTV Spaces, at JBTV Community. Um, it's been a good week. Been a very good week.
How's your weekends been so far? All three of y'all?
it was cool. Nothing crazy. Just relaxing for the most part. Doing a little Christmas shopping, but it was cool.
And to address that real quick, so y'all know Stag is a avid Jaguar fan, and he requested off this space before he knew that his favorite person in the world, Mel, was coming. So you can imagine he's a little bit tight about that. But we hope he has fun at the Jaguars game, and maybe he'll get a chance to check in. You know, Jaguars kind of hurt, so we'll see.
Poor Stag, man. Poor Stag. He was so upset about this. Like by the end of the week, he was like feeling so bad about not being here. I felt bad.
Wait till they lose the game.
What'd you
Oh
say?
shit.
I said, wait till they lose the game. You're gonna definitely be pissed off.
You know what, though? It's been raining all day here in Jacksonville. So, he might end up deciding, you know what, forget this. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Can't resist spaces.
Nah, he going. He going. He been told me he wanted to go to a Jags game and he was excited to go. But, things change by the end of the week to the point where he's like 50-50 about wanting to go. But no, salute to him. He called it way early in the week, so is what it is. He'll listen back.
That
But
part.
but yeah, the week was good. Put some black ink on some white pages. You know what I'm saying? That's always feeling good. It feel even better when it hit the account. What else happened? I went to a graduation party that turned into a engagement party that turned into a baby announcement. So I guess when you put all that in three, you can't lose.
How does that work? Like, that was a lot.
I don't know. I just showed up for one thing and it ended up being three things. So congratulations.
Okay, then. All right. Well, my weekend was pretty much family time. I had a great time with my family. Basically, like that's all it was. I was a mommy this weekend. So other than that, y'all want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, what do y'all want to start with? I mean, there was a lot that happened throughout the week. There was comments made. He said something about lowering after the new year. He's thinking about lowering the episode durations to 90 minutes to 2 hours, just to lower the workload for the rest of the cast. I don't know what you guys thought of that. Are you guys okay with that if it went down to 90 minutes to 2 hours a pod?
Mm.
I need like
Oh,
maybe like 2.5. The closest thing to 3 as possible. So 2.5, 2:45. I'm cool with that.
No, I'm asking you if you're not cool with it because that's if that goes into effect, how do you feel about it? 90 minutes to 2 hours max.
Nah, that's not enough for me.
Yeah, he's gonna have to give a whole. I don't even think even if he gave daily content, we would feel like that's okay. Like there's something about having those 3-hour podcasts on Wednesday and Saturday.
no, I will say I actually was when I saw was it 241 on the thing. I wasn't mad at it. I was pretty happy with that the length of the Saturday pod. It was cool to me. It didn't feel like they don't really necessarily feel like strange to get to, but I always seem to stop around the 2.5 hour mark or maybe 1 hour 45 minutes, and then take a break, do some other stuff I need to do, then come back to it.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on that one. I wouldn't mind if it went down to an hour 30 or 2 hours. I wouldn't mind. I think we get 4 pods a week anyway, and it's more than enough content. If lowering the duration even makes the content even better, then I'm all for it. Let's go.
I guess I would have to see that it's going to make it better. But I don't know. Like, I get what y'all are saying, but you're acting like even when we do have those great 2-hour podcasts, like we don't be like, man, I wish it would have gone just a little bit longer. I think we've gotten used to that format. So it's probably going to take a little bit of change. But I mean, anything that he changes, people get used to. So it can be done.
That's right. Yeah. So every time they make a change, everyone gets used to it after some point, right? And you never know if it'll make the content better or not, or if we're just gonna feel like their episodes are way too short. We'll see. If they put into effect, then that's what it is. We'll see how it is. I see Mel in the crowd. I see Joe in the crowd already.
All right, so Dash, we have our lady of honor here today, Miss Melyssa Ford, or as she known here, Melyssa motherfucking Ford, is here.
Hey,
Hootie hoo.
Hootie
hey.
hoo.
Hi
What's going
guys.
on, man?
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, I love the
That would be,
enthusiasm. Hey.
yes. Hey, we're gonna you said that you weren't kind of familiar with spaces, and we had to do the same thing with Ish. So which one of you guys are gonna kind of let her know how to work it?
Okay, so well, you saw she knows the mic on, mic off button. If you're hearing something you're liking or anything, you can press the heart and show us some love or 100 or anything like that. Um, the rest is pretty basic. Don't wash dishes like Ish was doing. That helps.
Yeah, no, I'm not even home right now. So the most you might hear is like maybe a dog barking because I got a couple of dogs with me, but that's it.
Oh, Daisy and crew.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a new boyfriend for Daisy.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah.
Not your pimping Daisy out.
I mean, her old man, passed away. So, she's just she's looking for a young buck. What can I say?
Oh my, around 34?
We'll have to figure it out. She just turned 7. So what's that? 49 in dog years? I don't know. We're about the same age.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
sweet. All right. Well, before we get started, let me go on ahead and give an intro that is worth our guess. Good music is nice to listen to, but the greatest music makes you visualize something. The woman that has honored us with her presence defines what it means to give desirable visuals to change a tune from a song into a moment to remember. She showed us with 112 she can serve looks anywhere. And Donnell Jones made us realize that we had all this love for Melyssa Ford, or rather Big M4 when she was big pimping with Jay-Z. If you don't know her name, with the help of Alicia Keys, then you can check out Usher's hit video where we all screamed, yeah. But she didn't stop at being the video vixen and was savvy enough to make the pivot to media, becoming known for her intellectual takes and her ability to color a conversation with her extensive vocabulary. Ford was an on-air personality for Sirius Satellite Radio's Hot Jams channel. In 2016, Mel became a co-host of Hollywood Unlocked, and by 2019, she launched a podcast on YouTube called I'm Here for the Food, featuring a plethora of guests and covered a range of topics, including colorism, human trafficking, and forgiveness. Sounds like our Mel. One wonderful day, Joe Budden made the strategic and insightful move of having Melyssa Ford as a guest on Patreon, and it was at that moment we fell in love with Big M4 all over again. After several years in Los Angeles, our beloved Mel moved back to the New York, New Jersey area in 2023, becoming one of the co-hosts on the Joe Budden Podcast, which we affectionately refer to as the Bionic Six. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hootie hoo and round of applause to Big Mel, Big M4, Melyssa.
Woo!
Wow. I am going to have to get you to write all of my copy. That was incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to. Just hit me up. How
That
are
was
you?
I'm doing okay. I've had a really relaxing weekend. How's everybody else doing? How's your weekend been?
Oh, we're good. We're good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good.
Good weekend overall. I think all of us have had that. We've been just talking all weekend with my kid all day. Had a good time. Can't complain.
Sounds okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, you kind of set us a frenzy when you let us know you were gonna come. So we're kind of excited, and I hope you don't mind if we ask you a few questions.
No, not at all. I mean, I've been meaning to come into Twitter Spaces for a minute, but I'm a little technologically I'm not as savvy as Ice is. So I thought this was going to be a lot more difficult than it is. But yeah, no, I'm glad to be here. I've been meaning to come in here for a long time.
Well, great. Thank you so much. Well, to get this started, how did you come to be a part of the JBP in your own words and like relationship with Joe? Because a lot of people, we know that Joe has all these woman friends and he has access to everybody, but the fact that he chose you means something. So, what's your perspective on that?
Well, Joe and I have known each other for a really long time. I posted a picture on Twitter. Actually, it was a throwback to like 2009. So, I mean, we've known each other for a long time. And back in 2022, he came to LA for a visit and let me know he was coming to town. And I said, can we grab lunch? And of course. So me and Daisy met him for lunch. And we just started talking. And I'd said that I wanted to get back into the podcast space. I missed it. I missed being a podcaster. I missed giving, my opinions and hot takes and just, camaraderie with co-hosts and just that whole, environment. But a lot had kind of changed in my life at that time. Like I'd kind of suffered some losses. The pandemic had happened. Nobody knew their ass from their elbow, And so I just was trying to, really, really find the pivot of how to get back into this, but feeling like LA was just not the place for me. And it was just kind of coming to terms with that. And so he said, Mel, come on the pod. And I said, oh, yeah, sure. It's in New York, New Jersey, whatever. And he was just like, you know what? Come on the pod, be a guest, see how you like it, see if you gel with me and the guys. If it fits, then let's figure it out. I said, okay, that's doable. And so in May of 2022, I came to New York for a visit for a birthday party and, some other stuff and ended up doing the episode with the boys. And it was a blast. It was so much fun. The response was really, really incredible. It was a huge confidence booster. And Joe saw the response. He was like, I told you. And I was like, okay. So then I just had to wrap my mind around what would it look like me moving back to the East Coast? Because I have moved back and forth from New York to LA 4 times. This is my 4th time. That is a lot. And when the last time that I left New York for LA, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. If I move anywhere else, it's going to be to another country. I'm going to be living in Thailand or Lisbon or something. So coming back to the East Coast, it wasn't on the fucking bingo card. I'm just going to be straight up. And so I had to just kind of wrap my mind around what that would look like, me getting situated back on the East Coast. And the good part is that, um, a lot of my core group of friends resides on the East Coast because I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I moved to New York in the year 2000. So some of my friends I've had for like 15 and 20 and 23 years here in New York and, the tri-state area and basically the East Coast. So that really was a huge part of, me making the decision and finalizing saying, okay, I'm going to do it. And so come January, I told Joe, I was like, okay, I'm here. I was staying with a girlfriend. And we just did it. We didn't make an announcement to you guys. I just ended up on the couch one day and I never seemed to leave. And that was it. That was how we basically kind of said without saying, she's kind of here to stay. Joe has his own, Joe's a genius. He has his own perspective on why he chose me. Because it could have been any woman that sat in that seat. So, but that's my version of everything that happened. We really thought about, do we make an announcement? Do we do promo, letting everybody know that this is what's going to happen, or do we just kind of let people get used to it. And that was his approach, and I think it was the right approach. And then we did an episode called More on Mel, which was a Patreon episode. I think we launched that in like February or March or something. And that kind of gave a little bit more of a perspective as to how this all kind of came together and all of the stuff that led up to me making the decision to come back over to the East Coast. So that's the VHS version of how I got on the pod.
Oh, that's so appropriate too, because that's all our age. Besides Johnny, he's a DVD baby.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned how you were angsty to kind of get back into the pod. How did you get into podding, originally?
Well, I I had been on the radio before. I'd worked on Sirius, Channel 50 Hot Jams, and also I did a lot of work on Shade 45. That's where me and Angela Yee actually became really good friends. Was when we were both at Sirius Radio, and she was on Shade 45, and that's also where she was doing lip service, and I was on a completely different channel. But you in Sirius, you just rotated a lot. Like you ended up on a bunch of different stations, poached talent from one, channel to another, and or like I should say, like interviews. People who'd come by, they would just kind of like just do like this huge circuit. So I started off doing like radio there, and then podcasting, kind of began, it started to kind of enter the, collective consciousness of everybody. I think around like 2015, 2016, maybe before, but this is where it was kind of a thing. And I was asked to start Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored with the founder. And I took that opportunity I was planning on moving to LA anyways. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds like a good place to start. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. I really didn't put much thought into it. It just seemed like a lot of fun at the time. And as time went on, and the podcast market grew and grew and grew, you started to really understand, oh, this is a thing. This is the next major movement in media. So I guess what I liked most about it is there was no real guardrails on it. You know what I'm saying? You could really say whatever you wanted. You guys know I'm a potty mouth, so I didn't have to censor myself anytime I wanted to drop an F bomb. So that was appealing to me. But yeah, I mean, I'd say that's where I got the start. But when I moved on to doing my own podcast, which was called I'm Here for the Food, I launched that in 2019. It was just because sometimes, I wanted to interview guests that weren't a part of the culture or pop culture or a trending moment. I was like, I don't know, I just kind of thought about I just thought about who do I find fascinating. And a lot of times I find people living on the fringe of society fascinating. That's why I would interview a death doula or a sex trafficking recovery expert or a former porn star, or whomever. Anybody that I could find that I found to be fascinating, that was who I wanted to have on as a guest, not just have a celebrity driven, guest based show.
So Joe is sort of biting your thing with humans.
No, I would never say that ever. Joe is, I think we're of like mind when, when it comes to just like this sense of intellectual curiosity, like, and just finding people fascinating, and not because we're told to find them fascinating because a bunch of shit has been written on them and blogs cover them, but because they really actually are fascinating people, live fascinating lives, and do things that you are like, wow, okay, you like, you make shit under water. I don't know, like, I don't know, or you're like a fireman who like survived 9/11, shit like that,
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Mel, I had a follow-up question about your time on Hollywood Unlocked. Um, So when you were on there and you were with, the Jason Lee podcast, did your time on there make you want to be less open about your personal life moving forward? And if so, did you have any experience that stuck with you in a negative way?
I've always been pretty guarded about my personal life. I never really I never really wanted to serve myself up as, you know, fodder for public consumption. Like I really felt like I deserved to have a personal life that was private, that I didn't give everything away. I think that that's a very strange concept that people have, that when you are visible or forward facing or famous, that everything is up for grabs, everything about you is meant for public consumption, and I just don't believe that. Um, and so would be very guarded about my personal life. So and I was also very triggered by being asked questions, or mm, being asked to talk very salaciously, especially like about, like, my sex life and stuff like that, just obviously because certain labels that had been placed on me. I just didn't feel like those conversations would help me in terms of, you know stopping the reinforcement of certain ideas that I really did not like were, you know being thought of or being said about me, or whatever the case is. I guess it was really just kind of like a sense of self-preservation. Trying to think of if there was any particular instance. I mean, I can't really think of a particular instance in which I was made to feel uncomfortable. It just always seemed like Jason was serving my vagina up on a plate. Maybe it was for jokes and stuff like that, but every time we had a male guest, there was an insinuation of flirtation and, hey, take her out on a date. I'm like, do I have a say in the matter here? Um, but yeah, so I mean, I guess that's just kind of like a byproduct of having, I don't know, being in a male dominated space. I don't know.
Wow, that was a really great answer. And so, that question was actually by one of our community members, Ego by Maya. We've been trying to make sure that we field some of the questions of the community. So, to continue that, Geeked Up Productions wanted to know, you've had a lot of experiences over many years in the entertainment industry. So, for you, what would you say was your I made it moment? Like, when did you feel like I made it?
I'm still fucking waiting for it. No, I'm kidding. Um, I, there was one particular moment that left a really indelible mark on me, like in my mind. It was the 2006 Super Bowl in Detroit, and it was the Seattle Seahawks, and they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And BET, I was with BET at the time. I was part of their on-air talent lineup. And this is when I was really into sports. I know you guys watch the pod, and I stay very quiet during sports, because it's really, honestly, this is a sidebar. It's hard to try to even keep up with the guys, because their knowledge is so extensive about sports, current, past, the business of sport. It's a lot. But back then, I really enjoyed, like, watching football and basketball, at least after the playoff, or at the playoffs, at the start of the playoffs. So anyways, I was working for BET, and they'd sent me on location to Detroit. The field that they were playing on was called Ford Field. It felt very apropos, like kind of like you know, uh, I don't know, like a serendipitous kind of moment. And the world's media was on the field. And so the way that media day happens is, it's the first half of the day is devoted to one team, and then the second half of the day is devoted to the other team. And I mean, media from every corner of the world was there. And when I got on the field to I was like, shit, how am I going to score interviews with these guys? I mean, like, Jerome the Bus was there. It was like all these star players. And I was like, God, how am I going to get all these interviews? And I didn't have to lift a finger. They were walking away from, like, interviews with CBS Sports and ESPN. They were like, hold on one second here. Melyssa Ford's over there. I need to go talk to her. And it was just really like a kind of like career affirming moment. It was a lot of fun. I got like 5 articles written on me, like ESPN magazine. She stole the Super Bowl. Like it was just like a really good moment. It was very career affirming. So that kind of sticks out in my head. And then I ended up doing some more stuff with the NFL channel and with the ESPY Awards, kind of as a result of all of that.
Dang. I know. So,
Like,
but I'm sorry, real quick, just quick. Would you ever like get back to sports? Like, would you ever
No,
touch my ears, the trenches, maybe?
no, no, nope, nope, nope. That ship has sailed. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that to the young beautiful girls that I see. The sportscasters, the sideline reporters. Like, you guys got it. I used to get a lot of, you're too sexy and attractive to do this, and you're too much of a distraction. I used to get that a lot. And so I think that it just, I was ahead of the time. um and so watching the girls now, the women now that are, young beautiful sportscasters and sideline reporters, they remind me of myself 15 years ago. And I mean, I tip my hat to them. I'm very happy for them. I'm so proud of them, but it wasn't my time to do that. So now what I want to focus on, um the conversations that I kind of want to have is just what's relatable to my life right now. And so that's not it.
hey, Mel, this is a question from Reeves. And also, I'm Canadian, so I'm more than happy to ask this question. You've worked in the entertainment business in both countries. What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen between the two? Like, is there a difference in working in either country?
Hmm. I don't. I haven't really found much of a difference. Like, I was just in Canada, or in Newmarket. So I'm not sure what part of Canada you're from. I'm from Toronto, so Newmarket and Barrie, these are like, suburbs that are kind of on the about 30, 40, maybe 50 miles away from Toronto. So I was just out there shooting a movie in the summertime. Same place I shot a movie in the winter time. So in terms of like working, I mean, it depends on which aspect of media you're talking about. If you're talking about being on the radio, if you're talking about modeling, if you're talking about acting is like, if I was to say acting, I would say that I don't see a difference at all.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm from Ottawa. You're from Toronto. I visit Toronto pretty often.
Hmm.
Nice city, very nice
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, Toronto is great. Toronto is fantastic. If none of you have been there before, I advise you to go at least once in your lives. Go in the summertime when it is warm, because there is nothing like a Toronto winter. It is cold as a witch's tit.
You don't think Niagara? You don't think Niagara would have been a better option of the two if somebody's going to visit Canada? Go to Toronto or Niagara? What do you think?
You're hilarious. Toronto, 1,000%.
Gotcha.
Oh my God, so much Canadian humor.
I was gonna ask
Uh,
all you Canadians like us the same way, like because Dash kind of is. We call him Captain Canada. Like, we kind of see a lot of, like, you guys have a little bit in common. Like, I kind of see it. Like, there's like a politeness to your cussing. I'm from Florida, so I'm a little bit, when I cuss somebody out, it's a little bit rough.
You would be right, and that's a really astute like assessment, because it's very true. Like, they say that Canadians are extremely polite. We're so polite that, like, when you step on our foot, we say sorry. So yeah, we definitely. And then we have the accent. Christ almighty, I can't drop it to save my life. I've been gone for 23 years, and it still pops out every time I say something with OU in it.
all right. Now that Blood, Sweat, and Heels is on streaming, and I guess congrats sort of to that. Hopefully,
No, don't congratulate me on that shit. I am so fucking pissed,
why are you pissed?
because I fucking hated that show. I hated the whole experience. It was trash. Um, oh God, the way that they handled that show, the talent. Um, Bravo has a reckoning coming. And we've been obviously seeing rumblings about it. Nene Leakes has been, shouting from the rooftops, talking about racial inequality and that sort of thing. But they are going to have a very serious they have a very serious issue on their hands brewing, and a lot of it is related to mental health. The mental health of not just the people that they hired for it, but a lot of times they hire, like when they have housewives, the families are usually an automatic part of the cast, because they want to capture the lives. And reality TV, it has a detrimental effect on grown ass adults. So what do you think it's doing to kids? My experiences with it ended up in a lawsuit that was settled. So there's very little that, or if anything, that I can actually say about that. That's pretty much the only thing that I can say.
What would you tell Mel if the Mel you are now? What would you tell the Mel then in that case? Since you know a lot more about the situation. What would you tell her?
Huh. That's interesting. That's a very sneaky question, because what I would tell her would what I would tell her um have security around you at all times and buy some brass knuckles. That's what I would tell her.
All right, that was from Robin in real time, by the way.
I'm not hating. I told you I'm from Florida. We got guns.
Yeah, that's what I would tell her. I'm not happy about it being on at all.
Okay, Mel, I got a little two-part question for you that's going to lead us into more of current times with the JBP era.
Okay.
My first question is, with the new cast, what challenges did you initially face, and what do you think makes the JBP cast work so well together?
Well, what makes us work is we're all dynamic personalities. The guys and myself, we all have spirited, personalities. We're also not, shrinking violets. We've all got like strong opinions, hot takes. I mean, me and Flip are the newbies, and I mean, what can you say about Flip? He is like a ball of energy, and it's infectious, and I adore him. Um, you know, uh, it's I think that that's what works. I think that we appreciate each other's senses of humor, and we kind of like. I think that we also appreciate what each person brings to the table. Parks and his famous one-liners. I mean, that boy is good. Ice has a certain repertoire of information when it comes to tech and when it comes to a certain kind of music that I know nothing about, battle rap and all that other stuff. um I mean, Ish, his nickname is very appropriate, library. Sorry, library. And Joe's Joe. um so I think it's just a really dope dynamic that should not have worked, and it really ended up working really fantastically. Um, what are the experience like? What let's say what it, I guess the first question was kind of like, what were my experiences or growing pains or
Correct, initially.
um I think that we're starting to see that Melyssa has not spent a lot of time around um guys, like of a, just kind of like I don't know how to describe them, like just a crew or whatever. Like I'm always around like actors or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like guys who spend a lot of time in the fucking mirror, I guess. I don't know. Like this has been the first time I've ever been around like just a bunch of regular dudes and discovering the way, and I say that with all respect, I
No,
think
I was gonna say a bunch of niggas for you. I was gonna give you the
thank
word. You're trying to
you.
say it's your
Thank
first
you.
time being around a bunch of niggas. That's what they mean.
I do a lot of self editing, and I'm trying to get myself out of that, because that's really what I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, it's been the first time that I've ever spent a condensed amount of time, like week in and week out. And so there's a lot of things that I'm learning about that dynamic. Just like the male dynamic, the way that they think, the way that they feel about things, the way that they just, sometimes have hive mind, and just how differently that men and women actually think. There's times where they look at me like I've grown another head, and there's times where I look at them all like I can't believe you motherfuckers. Like I am aghast. I am floored, flabbergasted. Just throw an adjective in there. I'm it right now. Um, so that's kind of been like the biggest like whoa, aha, like what the fuck about the whole thing. But I described it as a muscle being developed. Maybe on the pod or maybe off the pod or maybe with my therapist. I don't know. I said it to somebody where I feel like being on the show with the guys, it's a muscle that I'm developing that I never knew that I had before. And so when you start developing a muscle that you've never used before, it's extremely weak and it feels very foreign to actually, try to work that out. And so you guys are seeing a social experiment in real time. You're welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate it. I do notice that. And I guess with all of those challenges that you just brought up, I guess what are the expectations that feel unrealistic or too difficult to execute? I personally am a therapist. So what I heard you just say is yes, you're building a muscle, but we all know when you're building a muscle, you get tired easily. You get kind of drained and exhausted. So I guess I want to, you have to start figuring out what to filter in and what to filter out. So what expectations have you come to feel like are unrealistic or too difficult to execute?
I think that like I said, the self-editing thing, I I I'm constantly in conflict with myself, on the show because, sitting next to Joe, he's the fucking podfather. You know what I'm saying? Like people, everybody, even if you don't like him, you recognize his talent and his genius and his greatness at this because of what he grew this platform to be. And so to me, in essence, he's kind of a teacher. um, and so I look at the things that he does, but I don't necessarily think that most, all, or even most of the things that he does, I'd be able to get away with because I'm a woman. And I think that's an underappreciated kind of thing that as a woman, I receive criticism the second I walk through the door without even opening up my mouth. And that's just a fact. That's women in general, And a lot of times men don't really want to hear what we have to say, and that is a fact as well. A lot of times we get a lot of labels thrown on us, especially when we're very opinionated and spirited and are confident enough to, um, you know, uh, say our opinions and articulate ourselves in an eloquent fashion or whatever the case is. A lot of times, niggas just want to tell us to shut the fuck up. Um, and so I think that I'm just like I said, I'm just constantly in conflict with trying to figure out what I should say, what I shouldn't say, or how I should say it. Should I be humorous? Should I be introspective? Like I am I am cerebral as fuck. Like that's just who I am. Like I'm always in my head. I cannot help it. It's just who I am. I'm a Scorpio. I like live on the bottom of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like face head in a book all the time. So I constantly think and think and think till I think a hole in my head. And I think that that's been, you know, my biggest challenge is staying out of my head and just kind of rolling with punches and not letting you know certain pressures affect me as deeply as they do. But I'm a grown woman who's gone through some shit. You guys have heard the stories about car accident, mom passing away and stuff like that. I carry some stuff with me. So, triggered, it happens. There's shit that just happens. But like I do the best that I can, and I hope that I show up. Um in a way that like is meaningful for people, in any way, shape, or form. You find that if you find a take of mine humorous or introspective, then or make you think, or you feel seen, then that shit is awesome to me, and I feel like I've done my job.
Well, great job identifying that, because you just describing that, I think, kind of explains exactly what we're seeing sometimes when people get irritated. You're kind of in your head a bit too much, and I get that. So hopefully you continue to work that out. And Dash, going ahead, my bad.
I have two questions for you. Do you feel like you found your fit on this podcast? Like, do you think this podcast is where you want to be? That's it. Do you feel like you found your fit here?
I think that being in this industry for like over 20 years, um, I am extremely, like, I adapt, so it's difficult for me to even answer that question, because whatever the situation is, I adapt. I just adapt to it. And so, in getting to, really kind of ingratiate myself with the guys and get to know them and stuff like that, and spend time with them and hang out with them, and when we are just not rolling and we're just talking shit and eating in the kitchen and stuff like that, it's I don't know, like, it's just kind of like this camaraderie I feel like has just started to develop. um I now look forward to, like, when our discussions kind of get heated, both on and off the pod and stuff like that. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's, I'm definitely really, really enjoying being here, grateful to be here, and very much enjoying myself, even if it doesn't look like it sometimes, because I'm struggling with something. Um, that is, in fact, how I feel, that I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Okay. So when you missed the Tuesday podcast, it raised some concerns that you might be upset about some of the narratives floating around. Listening to the pod, Joe and Flip made some jokes and comments that made people believe that you might have been suspended or quit or fired. Do the narratives bother you?
Mm, do the narratives bother me? Hmm. Not anymore. No. I see them as being, just kind of like a necessary part of the entertainment factor, you know? Gets people talking, gets people engaged. Um, yeah.
When do you feel like you learned that part of the field?
um, the whole Ish narrative, that was a debacle. that was that was a lot. But that was the first time that I'd actually, like, I'd actively participated in a narrative. That was not something I was used to. That was not something I'd ever kind of like I'd ever experienced, So, yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. That one was interesting.
You
So, yeah.
can't lie, that was fun, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, until it wasn't, you know? Um, yeah, you don't want a narrative to bleed into somebody's real life, or, people's real lives, and I think that it was heading into dangerous territory of doing that, and that's never the intention. You don't want to take your work home in a really negative way, and so that's why we, pretty much kind of lay off of that one now. And it had its time. It was fun while it lasted. And next.
Sounds good, thank you.
What do you feel like Melyssa Ford brings to the pod, both on camera and sort of off camera? What does Melyssa Ford bring to the pod?
Well, um, I definitely think that I help to expand people's vocabularies. I think that I think I just kind of have a unique viewpoint, just having, just being a woman who started off as like a biracial girl from Toronto, Canada. I think that just I have a unique perspective on the way in which I look at the world, the lens in which I view the world, just because of my upbringing, because of my educational career, everything that I've kind of experienced. Um, so I think that I just, you know, I bring just like kind of like a unique perspective. It's not like I could like run down and tell you everything about hip hop and rap and that sort of thing. But I know a little bit about a lot of different things. And maybe I know things that and try to bring them into the podcast, like subjects that would normally not get discussed, because as a woman, being the sole woman, um, we are affected by different things. We have a different thought process about different things. We find interest in different things, and also I find the guys and their lives fascinating, so I think that I ask them questions that they would never ever think to ask each other, and so that's what I think that I bring to the pod.
Okay, and what's one of the bigger things that you had to let go in potting? When you had your own thing and you started doing your own thing, and you had to come and be a part of this team. What's something you had to let go?
Hmm. Well, I had to let go of that nice ass weather in LA. That's for sure. Was not looking forward to coming back to the cold, but I don't think I had to give anything up. I don't think I had to. I don't think I had to leave anything behind, give anything up. Um, I think that I'm learning as I go along. Um, this is a well-oiled machine, the JBP. The guys have been together for a long time, even though Ish and Ice are, in the grand scheme of things, fairly new. They're, about 2 years in, or give or take. Um, they are they're new to, like, this world of visibility, but they also have like a long-term friendship with Joe. So um just kind of entering this world where it's a well-oiled machine and everybody is really really acclimated to each other. They have like a dynamic that's already very well established. Inserting myself into it, you know at times, I felt like an interloper. I felt like I was a disruption, and not in a good way. So there's been times I've had to, motivate myself, self motivate myself. I've had to, Ian's had to, like, talk me off a couple of ledges and stuff, figuratively, not literally. Um, but yeah, so I think that, yeah, I think that pretty much answers the question. I hope it does.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of the challenges that you had to face with your old cast versus your new cast, which one was more fun navigating?
Nah. Is it ever fun navigating challenges? I don't know. Um, I don't know. God, how the fuck do I answer that? Um,
Very
mm,
carefully.
I
you
figured
know
something
what I'm
out.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Shit. I don't know. I wouldn't want to answer that one. I would say that. I would say. Ah, fuck
Just drop
Did I
one of those
stump
big
Mel?
words on them.
You said what?
I said, did I
Just
stump
drop
Mel?
one of those big words.
I'll say get fuck that. Next question.
Oh man, I stumped
But
the great Mel.
no, 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 not stumped. I listen. I just dealt with a whole bunch of smoke. I need a break. I don't
That
want
part.
it. So I'm
Self
just
care.
yeah,
Self
self
care.
care, self
That part.
care, self preservation. Self
That
preservation is a thing. Is a
well,
thing here.
Well, Mel, you are so dynamic on the show. Like, not only do you get the people going, but you keep them going, as you just realized and talked about. And they talk and they narrate and they speculate. But
Mm.
here's my thing: how much of that is natural occurrence versus you being calculated for engagement? Because, like you said, you a Scorpio, I'm a Cancer. I kind of see you, girl. I think some of this, like you was even posting some of them stuffs on your story on IG, and you kind of know that would feed into the narrative, didn't you?
I mean, did I? Not really. I think, here's the thing. Yes and no. A lot of times when I'm posting story, I'll see something like a tweet or, something else, and I'm just like, oh, well, that kind of, is I feel a connection to that. That's funny, or, that kind of makes sense or whatever. The guys were mad at me about something that I posted recently because the timing was kind of shitty. But that like totally wasn't my intention. I feel like if I'd posted a month ago, nobody would have even blinked fucking twice. So the timing might have been shitty, but it's just I wasn't is there a lot of thought put into it? Not necessarily. You know what I mean? It's story. And I never even look at who's looking at my story, honestly. Like 5 people could be watching my story. I wouldn't even know because I don't check to see how many people are looking at my story, who's looking at my story. Like I don't really check those things. I'm like, "Oh, that was cute. Oh, that was funny." I post and then I get distracted like squirrel, like and then I forget about it, and then somebody will be like, "Yo, I saw this," or
So you're a little oblivious at times. I feel you. I'm the same way.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes because I mean, shit, it's just the fucking world is moving so fast. Like it's hard to, we got the attention span of goldfish these days. So you really like, you might have posted something, you're like, oh yeah, this totally hits, and then 5 minutes later, you completely forgot that you even did it. You're like, oh, somebody reminds you of it. You're like, oh shit, right, whoops. So I would say it's less calculation, um more maybe a little obliviousness. Yeah.
Mel, there's nothing. Us, we're Canadians, and we both know Canadians are petty. Okay, so can we dead a narrative? Did you
What?
change your bio?
Did I change my bio to what?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Did I change it?
Yeah.
God, what does it say?
No, like I thought you had the Joe Budden Podcast co-host on there. That's what I thought. And then the IG stories did look crazy. It made the fans go crazy at the time on the timeline.
Oh,
But I guess you answered that question for Juicy there. But I was gonna ask you myself.
definitely did not change my bio. I
Okay.
have definitely not. No.
Okay. Narrative done. That's it. That's over with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you flip today? Do you consider you guys as a duo on the pod, like type of thing, or how do you see like the work relationship with Flip?
Yeah. Flip is like, I don't know if he'd like me saying this, but I feel like he would, like little brother, shit, I was just talking to his mom yesterday. Like we spend time together, like we hang out. Like he really like he tries to look out for me, in his words. But like um I'm a fan of like Flip's like he has a real sense of curiosity. He wants to learn, he wants to understand. And so when I offer him a different perspective or a different way of looking at something, he's grateful for it and he asks a lot of questions. So, like it's the dynamic. You couldn't have told me that I thought that I would have that with Flip. I would never have thought that, especially having like, met him on the pod. I'm like, this nigga is loud. But he's ended up becoming like, like a really good friend. Um, and I feel like I can talk to him, and we do. And his mom is so dope. And so she has a YouTube channel and she's podcasting, which I think is so awesome. But yeah, no, like Flip and me, we really are the way we look to you guys, we really are like that.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys talked on the show about like maybe Mel and Ish doing a show. What do you think of that? Do you like the optics of it that you guys barely agree on anything? So how do you think that show would go?
I think that show would be amazing because we barely agree on anything and we both like to argue. Him, I feel like him more than me. But yeah, I think that, if we did like a kind of test run, which I'm totally down for if he wants to try it out, I think that it would be really, really dope. Especially if we could kind of like have like, you know, uh I don't know, Joe is mediator. I don't know, like some family feud kind of thing. I just see like the two contestants sitting, standing opposite with at the buzzer, and Joe playing the Steve Harvey role kind of thing with cue cards or something like that. That just popped into my head when you said that, but I think it would go over really well, because we have an appreciation for each other's intellect, but we also really don't agree on a lot of shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anybody agrees with you on the pod more than Ish. Maybe who do you think agrees with you the most on the pod?
I will say that when Ish does agree with me, it shocks the shit out of me. I do a double take, like, really, you agree with me? Oh shit, okay. You know, I think that Ice gets a bad rap for pandering. I hate that label. I hate it. You guys need to do better with that shit. Just because a man hears a woman's opinion and he finds validity to it and says that he agrees with it does not mean that he's pandering. That shit gets on my nerves. Um, so I couldn't really say who agrees with me the most, but I would say that when Ish agrees with me, I'm usually shocked.
Is this the biggest spotlight you had on yourself, like week to week? Um, for like a whole year. It's a weekly show. You're on there 2 times a week. Is this like the biggest spotlight and reaction, that you sort of get to things?
I Maybe, I guess. I think that if you really think, you know, process how large the platform is, and the scope of it, it would affect your performance. Maybe I should just speak for myself. I'll just speak for myself. If I really process how big the platform is, how wide its reach is, the enormous scope of it, it would it would really affect me. And so I do not think about it at all. But every once in a while I'm reminded of just how enormous the platform itself is. I mean, I will just be standing in a bank line and somebody says hooty hoo as they walk by, shit cracks me up. I'll be at the gas station, same shit. Like, it's just the most random occurrences, and the greeting is hilarious to me, but I'm just like, wow, that's awesome and scary at the same time. Um, so I just don't think that you consciously think about it week in and week out, but you get reminders.
A lot of your value to the pod comes with like the information that you bring, and they've kind of already made you like the fun police in that you're the person that keeps the barbershop talk from getting out of hand while they're recording. Do you kind
Mm.
of feel like it's fair that they make fun of you so much for that, or do you kind of just welcome it and like or take it as kind of like fun hazing and we're gonna get there?
I've had to learn what hazing is, and this is what guys do to each other, and this is like, I guess, a form of it, a form of affection. I've had to, kind of learn that in real time. So, and they call me the fun police. These fucking guys suck. No, I'm not the fun police, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I do want to keep the barbershop talk. I mean, every once in a while, I'm just like, okay, can we try to refer to women as women and not bitches, and vagina as vagina and not box, and Jesus Christ, guys, like, just, you know, eh,
It
try.
made for a great episode.
It was the bitch box was hilarious. Like, it
Classic.
really, really was hilarious. But I was being genuine. Like, you know, sometimes just some can you guys just be a little easy? Remember, hello, I'm here.
Okay, with just going after her question here, how does Corey affect the way you pod? Like every time you say something, he starts bursts out laughing from the back. What's you and Corey? What's going on?
Corey is a fucking heckler. Okay, that's what he's like. You remember? If I don't know if anybody remembers the Muppet Show, but you remember those two fucking guys that used to sit up in like the opera seats? That's Corey sitting up there on the high chair heckling. That is what he's like. He's a heckler. He's talking shit to you while you're trying to like focus on like a free throw. That's Corey. I swear.
So do you mind him being back there, or like would you, if you had a choice, would you just get rid of him from the back?
Not at all. You need it. It just kind of adds another layer of fabric to what makes the show unique and funny and fun and silly and unlike anything else out there. You know, that's he's a necessary component even though he's not on mic and you don't see him unless you see him in pictures.
Okay, you've been on the JBP as a guest and as a host now. What are the biggest differences between it being a guest on a platform in general or actually being a part of the host? What are the biggest differences? Because we've seen you like very comfortable, for example, on Drink Champs and even on that Patreon
Holy
pod that
shit.
you came in. What?
I said holy
Yo,
Listen, Drink Champs, yeah, I don't know if we'd say comfortable is not the word I would use. I would say drunk on my ass, completely inebriated, almost blind. To the point where once we finished filming, I walked outside in between two parked cars and barfed. So yeah, that was Drink Champs. I was drunk for the next 24 hours. I was drunk on the plane ride home. I still don't know how I made it because that, oh boy, I was so nervous to go on that show that I just started drinking on an empty stomach and then I started smoking blunts like a dumbass. And yeah, well, that was me.
you
That was
get the spins for that. You get the spins. That's what you get after drinking that much and smoking.
the the
Spin.
the spins, the hurls, the pass out, the all everything. I got everything. I guess being a guest on a show versus being the host. When it comes to being a host, you feel like if you have a bad performance, you got next week or the next episode to show up better for. You know, I feel like when you come on as a guest, a little bit more pressure to um, condense your story, get everything out that you want. It's a lot more calculated. You want to promote whatever you have going on, product services you're fucking peddling. Um, so I mean, depending on who the guest is, you might have like publicists whispering in your fucking ear, to say this and not say that. So I think that when it comes to hosting, you just it's a little bit more relaxed because you have the opportunity to, come back if you have a weak performance, you come back stronger next episode.
You think you're more comfortable as a guest, like the optics of it. You're just letting loose, right? But you just said it's the okay. I get it now.
For
All
me,
right, go ahead.
for me, um, I know that I'm gonna give a really good interview. I just know I'm gonna do that. Like the first thing I'm like, do we have champagne? Check. Boom. Okay, here we go. And I just, I just get super loquacious and just start yapping at the mouth and telling stories and maybe even mixing a little bit of flirtatiousness in there, which is what I did when I, came on the pod back in May 2022. I had my shoes off, practically had my feet in Ish's lap. Like I was ridiculous, but people responded to that. They were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so much fun. What happened?" A bunch of stuff happened. But I feel for me, I, I'm going to give a good interview regardless. But I think that just in general, people who go on, who are guests, you have to be a lot more calculated because it's just like you feel like it's just one shot.
Who or where do you go to for your, pod related critiques and stuff like that?
What do you mean?
So like, if there's like things that you think you need to work on, or just like say you're watching game film or something like that, running the tape back on previous pods, who do you go for to see if you should make any type of changes?
Um, well, I mean, the guys, like the crew. I don't really feel like there's a point in asking anybody outside of the environment. Really honestly, like, you know, I want to know what Joe thinks. Um, and I talk to Ian a lot, his manager. Um, I've asked for, kind of like informal performance reviews kind of thing. Is there any way that I can get better? Is there anywhere that like I'm kind of like, coming up short and where I can, improve and stuff like that? Um, and yeah, so I keep it in house, like asking for criticism. I'm not asking anybody outside, really
Okay,
honest.
so
Yeah.
you're like a comment reader. You don't go through searching through the comments or stuff like that.
Are you crazy? I like myself, There's no fucking way that I'm going to go through the comments. That will hurt me. I learned a long time ago, don't Google yourself. Have somebody else do it and then have them give you the cliff notes. um, which is what I do. I will not, mine through the comments for anything because, people say people are mean. Some people are really dope and kind and funny with their commentary and stuff like that. And I can take a joke and, people you want to talk a little bit of shit and whatever, but then other people make very pointed, mean remarks, and I'm like, I'm not. Nope. 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 If you want to talk about something that would affect my performance, that would do it. That would do it. So
So
I just choose not to.
do you watch game tape? Like I ask every single member that's come up here so far. I've asked every single one of them if they watch like any pods of like that's coming out or that's been out. Like if a pod drops today, are you rewatching it just to see? Take notes maybe for yourself?
I don't like to watch anything in, any of the pods in order. So like I'll go back and forth. And plus you all can tell that, by our clothes and by my hair that Joe drops Patreons, we'll drop a Patreon we shot 2-3 months ago. We'll drop it tomorrow type thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's no real order to things. So like sometimes I'll just kind of like go back and watch something from like April, May, and then compare that to something that we shot in, late October, just to kind of make my own personal assessment of where we are as a group and my interaction, my performance. So that's how I watch. That's how I watch quote unquote game tape.
What's interesting is you're the only person that actually watches game tape out of all the hosts, except for Joe. Joe said, "Yeah, I watch it. Of course, I watch it. It's my show."
Parks,
And
you
Oh
Parks
yeah.
always
said,
get
"Parks,
Parks.
yeah." And Park, no, I was just gonna say that Parks obviously does the edits, and also he's like, I see the clips on the timeline, so I run into the pod. I have no choice but to run into the pod. So it's just you, Parks, and Joe so far. So we
Oh,
could see that you're trying to take notes of things. That's very good.
yeah, no, I mean, like, the show's funny, so it's just interesting to be able to see it from the opposite, from the opposite lens, watching us rather than being in it, because who knows what you're going through at the moment, or what you're thinking or feeling or whatever the case is. Like, let's just say that you're looking at it, you're sitting there, like me and Flip will be sitting there and the guys will start talking about sports and me and Flip kind of mute up, because it's not really our thing. And so I'll be thinking to myself, I'm like, has it been like, how many minutes has it been since I actually said a word? So I want to see what that actually looks like. Does it look like I'm sitting there like a fucking monk, just taking a vow of silence? Like, so I want to see what the visual looks like, having known what I felt at that particular time. And can you guys read what I might be feeling? Am I giving that off? So it's a way for me to be a little bit more, I guess, buttoned up about um, you know, being too, like, I don't know, just easy to read. It's fun when when you don't give it all away.
You know that because like there's just a Patreon episode that came out recently, and there was a whole escort segment that you stayed quiet, and at the end of it, you said, I'm taking notes. Like I sat there quiet and I started just taking notes. And you're like, I want to be able to tell a story better. I'm learning from you guys. So we can clearly see you're putting the effort, like a lot of effort to try to fit in with the guys and fit in with the audience. So that's very appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very, very, very new world. I mean, one of the conversations that came up recently was about the fact that me and Ian Dunlap, who's master investor on Instagram, and Imani, and one of Ian's boys went out to a party one night, and how Mel left them. And it's just like, that's not really how I would describe things, but also the way that I move around in social environments. I'm not used to sticking with the crew you went with. I'm used to you go and you network the shit out of the event. You social butterfly that you party. I party for a purpose. If I'm not going out, I'm staying the fuck home. I like to be home. I am a homebody. So if I actually go out, I'm partying for a purpose. And I'm going out, I'm purposely being social. I'm trying to see as many people as I can. I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can, and whatever else, make the connection that I have to make and stuff like that. So when they were explaining that was almost like something that I did wrong, it was really hard for me to process that, because I was just like, I've just never done that. Like I've just and I guess the people I've hung out with in social environments, that's never really kind of been an expectation of us to stay connected to each other the entire time. Everyone's just floating around and talking to people and whatever else. So I
Can
guess
I
that was,
can
yeah.
I give you some pushback? Okay.
Sure.
First of all, I want you to know that I called Joe out on I felt like he was hating because you were in the back seat, and I feel like anybody knows that if somebody's in the back seat, a girl's in the back seat, you shouldn't have the window all down, blowing her hair all crazy.
Boom.
He explained there were some extenuating circumstances, which since I partake, understand a little bit, but I did get on him. But I feel like maybe I don't know I know what you're saying about the networking, but it didn't sound like it sounded like they were finally inviting you out, and it was happy, like you guys were happy to be bonding, and then you weren't interested in bonding.
Holy shit, hold that thought, because think about who it is I'm always talking about didn't invite me out. The guys, Ish, Ice, Joe, none of them were there. None of,
Mm.
none of them were there. And Ian Dunlap, that's the fucking homie. We've partied in multiple cities with each other. We've been in Vegas hanging out. We've been in Miami hanging out. We've been in New York hanging out. We've been in Atlanta hanging out. Me and him, we are this isn't we didn't just meet yesterday. This is how we do things. So I don't think that he had that expectation that it was going to be okay, we just move as a unit kind of thing. So none of the guys that I complain about, um, uh, not inviting me out, none of them were there.
And wasn't this the party that you originally already had said you were going to?
I wasn't sure because my feet were kind of hurting me, but then, um, really honestly, the party was called the Originals, and so it was old school music. It was DJ Clark Kent, it was Stretch Armstrong, it was D Nice, um uh and I drank too much today, so I can't remember who else was DJing, but it was two other ones that are just prolific. So I knew what the music was gonna be. It was gonna be a party. Like, who goes to like parties and dances anymore? This was gonna be the place, everybody was gonna be dancing, and none of the music they were playing would have been after the year 2000, so and I knew that I was, being back in New York, I knew I was going to see so many people that I probably hadn't seen in like 9 or 10 years. So that was why I was like, I really, really got to make it to this party. But my instincts to stay home or like kicking my ass. So when I finally went, that's exactly what happened. Is I ran into the entire world. A lot of people that I hadn't seen in almost a decade or more. So that was another reason why I was like social butterfly all over the place, because that's what's normal to me.
Okay, I get you. I feel you. But just so you know, when guys do go out with you, they're going to want to at least know you're safe. So I get that Ian has a rapport with you, so he was probably cool. But I think Imani and all of them, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just for the pod. But so you know, if you go out with dudes, they normally just want to know where you at, like, to make sure you good. That's all.
Yeah,
Or it might have been some hate.
hmm? You said what?
Might have been some hate too. You know how that go.
Maybe
Sometimes you want your, don't be everywhere with all these guys. You came with us.
maybe just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe.
Hey Mel, I had a quick question, and this is kind of like a callback to one of your past interviews that you did a while back. I want to see if you could remember what you said. But to quote Mel Ford, I feel like the true essence of woman friendship is admiration without envy and jealousy. Do you still believe that this could exist within the podcasting space, especially with, having other female hosts on the pod?
Oh, that was a bar. I mean, yeah, I think that yeah, it can, as long as, um as long as you trust the dynamic that you've established with, your female co-hosts. I think women get like an undeserved reputation of being jealous and catty and, can't work together and stuff like that. I think that that's, kind of bullshit. But I think that, it's just about like having like an established dynamic, and also transparent, um uh transparent goals, and aspirations, you know, and a constant sense of communication, and again, transparency when it comes to every aspect of the show, producing the show, money's made from the show. Really, honestly, I think that money is what creates division, more than anything else. So, but just also just keep maintaining a healthy relationship, just maintaining relationship, like a healthy relationship in general. um but yeah,
Do
that's the
you do
bar.
you do you remember that quote that you said?
Where'd I say it?
I honestly I can't remember, but that was just in my.
That sounds like some shit I'd say. Absolutely. I'm going with it. Shit, I'm gonna write that, I'm gonna tweet that.
Yep.
Before I get to my next question, pivot off of what Johnny was asking, I since you said that you don't read the comments, we really like your dynamic with Mo, and we were just wondering if maybe you could give us like a little insight on how you feel, because like even at Pod's Giving, like y'all were sitting next to each other giggling, like then even story that you guys told, you invited her, which they had to be potting, because why would it be a problem to invite your friend Mo? But I get it, whatever. But how do you feel about that dynamic?
I love Mo. I just do. Maybe it's that thing that girls do where they make friends in the bathroom kind of shit. I don't know, but just Mo is just, she's really genuine. And she's just not, there's no bullshit about her. She's just a genuine person. She is funny, without even trying to be. She's funny as hell. Um, and I think that you know, I think I was surprised by her, you know, and this is no shade. It just is, you know, getting to know somebody. I think I was surprised by her level of depth. Um, but I discovered it by way of like talking to her and having like, you know, really kind of deep conversations. Um, that was what made me kind of like just like her so much more. Was that I felt like we could really, really have like, you know, non-surface level conversations. We could actually go there and talk to each other. So I genuinely really like her. I think she has a wonderful spirit. She's a lot of fun. She's a beautiful girl. I can't say enough nice things about Mo. She really is a dope girl.
Oh, we love that.
I like her so much.
Well, hopefully Joe can get her to unbusy herself because we would love to see that dynamic between you two and all of them. Because it seemed like sometimes, you know, maybe when you're on your weird shit and a little off, she was able to kind of like be like, Mel, you know what this is, and kind of bring you back. And then sometimes when they were just dogpiling on you, she could be like, hey, she has a point. And we liked that balance.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, you know, when it comes to, like I said, the self-editing that I do, and being too much in my head, Mo just like it just thought comes right out of her mouth without hesitation, without any self-editing. I mean, I admire that about her. And, you know, it's something that I could probably learn from. I'm just always like I'm just thinking too much, and thinking about what the response is going to be, you know, and that's also part of the whole self-editing thing. But yeah, I do like the dynamic when she comes to visit. I really do.
Okay, so off the top of my head, you've recognized so many skills that you wish you had, but what skills and strategies have you learned up to this point in your entire career to be like you've been years in the business, and whatever people think about being a video vixen or being on these male dominated platforms, that means that you have had to have some kind of skills and strategies that you have gained in order to be able to like move and still remain successful. So like what do you feel like you have as far as skills and strategies that make sure that people consider you more than just the gorgeous woman that you are?
I think that um I think I have, you know, like everybody knows, you know, I'm loquacious. I have a extensive vocabulary. I'm not afraid to use it. I have an ability to articulate my thoughts in a very eloquent manner, but I also have an ability to articulate thought um in a relatable um in a relatable way. Um I'm also extremely candid, and very transparent. That is different from not having a healthy level of respect for your own privacy. Um, there's massive differences between the two. So I'm extremely candid. I'm very transparent about things, especially experiences that I've had that I feel like other people have had and might not have the words to express said experiences. So when I do, I have been told by a great many people that they felt very seen and heard and understood, or I articulated um, the shared experience in a way that they had been struggling to tell, you know, express to their friends and family to make themselves feel more understood. A very good example of that is when I had my car accident and I suffered from a traumatic brain injury, and everything that I went through, the pain, the confusion, the disorientation, and all of the residual effects, the vertigo, everything. Um, when I would go on public platforms like, you know, say the Breakfast Club, and I would express what I went through, a lot of the messaging that I got back was from people that said the way that you described, you know, your survivor's guilt after you know, were recovering in the hospital, and how much you just did not feel grateful for surviving, or, you know, you felt like you were standing in a padded room screaming with the door closed and nobody could hear you. Like that's how I felt. Like I just have a very descriptive way of speaking in to where people are like, that is exactly how I felt. What she said. And I think that's been my strongest like gift. What I've had to what I've had to learn and what is still a learning process for me is like the self-editing, getting out of my head.
Stop that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you were on your strongest gift and then you went to go to what you have to learn. I want you to sometimes just stand on what your strongest gift is. Like your plans land on people.
But here, let me tell you something. This is also something that I discovered from talking to one of my best friends in Canada. I realized something about my personality, but this is also a very Canadian thing that doesn't really translate here. Is I am Canadians are very, very self-deprecating. Like we're extremely like that's part of sometimes that's part of our humor. But it's a way for us to kind of it's a grounding agent. It's also a way for us to kind of like feel like we're being a little bit more relatable. But Canadians in general have a very self-deprecating nature. We're also extreme pragmatists, so like it is just no frills type of shit sometimes. That's why like I never seem I'm never acting like I'm high sedity or anything like that. I may be guarded about my privacy, but I'm never like resting on laurels or I'm like, like this, elitist bitch or anything like that. That's not me, never has been, never will be. But that's like the Canadian in me. And so when I am talking about what I value in myself or what I deem to be a gift, it's really just my nature to also introduce, talk about what what can, what requires some work. I think that it's just my nature. It's just my nature. It's
Well,
hard to be. It's very hard to be self-congratulatory. You know what I'm saying?
that's that's. I mean, we understand. Well, I think we understand that, and it makes sense for your personality as well. But just to make it back from that accident and to be on, a podcast shooting the shit with people who, they're a group of friends and they quick with it, and for you to be able to keep up and be in that setting and and thrive and learn, it's a good thing. So congratulate yourself just a
Thank
little bit.
you. Thank you. It's when I say that it's exercising a muscle that I've never used, what it's also doing is it's also like my brain needed stimulation. First of all, it needed a lot of healing. But it also needed different ways to be stimulated in order for me to get back to who I was before the car accident. And I discovered that was that was a false, like that was a journey that was just that just had no end. I was never going to be the person that I was before the car accident. It changed me forever. I think differently now. um Cognitively, I have challenges that I try to hide from people. Um so there'll be times where people don't know that I'm struggling cognitively to express myself or to think through something because it's a residual effect of my car accident. The hardest thing about my car accident, I think, was the fact that visually, it looks like I came out unscathed. Because my scar is really from like the top of my forehead and all the way back in on my scalp. So it's hidden, and also like it's inside my head, it's inside my brain. That was where the damage was done. And the amount of work that I've had to do to come back from that has been like it's been like climbing Mount Everest wearing a pair of fucking flip-flops. But that's another reason why I wanted to do Joe's show, is because I need to constantly present challenges to myself, cognitive and cerebral challenges. And this show literally keeps me on my toes. So it is a wonderful thing. It really, really is.
Speaking of shows, you actually had your own show called "I'm Here for the Food."
I
And
did.
yeah, if I didn't know any better, I actually thought that you were cooking on the show or you were eating on the show. So I wanted to know, um, would you bring this show back in today's time, or is the past stuck in the past?
So, God, I did that show when I was like young and sprite. No, I'm kidding. I started that show, and it had been something, it's been a phrase that I've been using for years and years and years. When my girlfriends would be like, "Oh my God, how was your date?" And I was like, "Girl, I was there for the food." It was like it was like a funny take on, my dating life, which I called God's cosmic gag reel. Um, but the tagline was, welcome to I'm Here for the Food, where we discuss topics that feed your mind, your spirit, and your soul. And I really loved the show. I really, really loved it. It was extremely hard. I was producing it by myself. It was self-funded by me. And it was not without its challenges. But I would say that the main challenge is that the day that I launched was also the day that I found out that my mom had cancer. And so it became extraordinarily difficult to um, keep the show going. Then the pandemic happened, and, the world just, devolved into a fucking black hole. And so I've changed a lot. So I think that what I want to talk about now on a, you know, on a platform, if I brought this show back, which I would like to, I'm going to rebrand it. It's going to have a different name. It's going to have a different synopsis, um, different co-host. Um, it's going to be more relatable to who I am now, because I've changed a lot since 2019, like an enormous amount. And I want it to be reflected. I think, and we all have, that pandemic changed us. Um, and also, like the lives that we live right now, we can't even call it PTSD, because it's more like, CTSD, constant traumatic stress, disorder. Um, and so, I feel like the topic of the crux of what it is that I want to talk about will focus on, just where we are all now, just in terms of like surviving life, life be life and kicking our fucking ass. Whereas back then it was, I don't know, shit just seemed a lot more easy.
Yeah, you're right. It was definitely a hard time with COVID. I had a baby during COVID. I have one of those COVID babies, so I get it. But it seems like, well, at least the way that Joe presents it is that you have a lot of opportunities to produce content on the Joe Budden Network. So I'm going to combine my question actually with the question from Higher Learning's Mod. Have you finished your Pilates instructor classes? And also, because I don't, like you said, you don't follow, so you don't like literally hear all this stuff. But I've been pushing for a Mel doing like a Pilates show, like with a guest. And like, it doesn't even have to be long, but like 15 minutes of you guys working out and talking. Bernice would be great to start with. But like, do you have any like interest in or wanting to go on ahead and like use some ideas to produce content on the platform?
I do. So first question, to answer that, I'm almost through the certification. It has been an uphill battle with that, because my Pilates community in LA, my God, it was so enormous. I mean, I would have been finished in a couple of months, just because Pilates was life back in LA. Here, it's just really different, and it's been really difficult to find, and attach myself to a community out here of, teachers and instructors and teacher trainers and that sort of thing. Everybody's kind of like really disconnected out here. Like it's just different in LA. So I'm almost done the Pilates teaching. I will tell you this, that I have been trying to convince the guys to let me teach them a Pilates class and us film it, because I think that would be hilarious. The five of them on Pilates reformer boards, and me instructing them would be hysterical. And that could be like that to me would be like the best first episode. And then yes, I would love to, ask Bernice or ask anybody else who'd be willing to come on the show and do a little instruction with me, and then a little chat as well. That would be dope. I'd love that. But try and help me convince the guys to do that one episode, because that would be hilarious.
They should do
You,
it just because they didn't want to do that cramp machine, and then when they did it, everybody fucking loved it. Like, sell it that way, Mel.
I mean, that part, I just think this would be hilarious, them on reformer boards and their
all that
non-flexible asses.
all that summertime smoke they had is ended. It's wintertime and they talking about they aching, backs hurting, shoulders out of place. You see how the energy's changed?
I definitely see it. I feel them, like I'm in the gym now and it is kicking my ass. It's no bueno. I'm in Epsom salt baths every, like, at least 5 days a week.
Real quick, you reminded me, Micah. I'm just gonna send this shout out to Parks One Liner Shiners. Summertime ball sack is crazy, yo. Like, just know that summertime ball sack is fucking crazy, dog.
And I walked back into that. They were talking about Ish's ball sack. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just missed an episode. What are you guys talking about? And then you're talking about Ish getting lasered, right?
Yep.
Exactly. That's what Parks One Liner Shiner was. Summertime ball sack, and I don't even know how he comes up with this shit.
Oh my God. I can't wait for him to get back for the next episode, because we need the recap of his colonoscopy, and I need to ask him why the fuck he got lasered. I just have to know, because that shit is hysterical to me. Like,
He's gonna be
that
so mad, Mel. Don't do that.
he volunteered the fucking information. What are you gonna do? He volunteered it. He knows what's up. He knew what was gonna happen when he told them all that shit.
Staying in that sort of lane. When is the last time you sort of got not in trouble for COE, but one of your like friends or close associates or anybody like said, you gave it up a little too much?
Huh. I can't really think of I can't really think of a time. I'm just getting acclimated to COE. I'm not on Flip's level, not by far. He's helping me by, bringing me into the skit world. And I love doing them with him because he's hilarious. And we like to collaborate. But I don't think that I'm there yet. Again, I'm in my head. I think too much. And I overthink. Well, how should I be doing this? Should I put a tripod in my kitchen? Well, I mean, blah blah blah. It just and then I'll just think a hole in my head. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing anything, and I'm just, sitting in my room alone, drinking wine. I don't know. Like, I'm not totally COE yet. It hasn't gotten it
May-
to the point where it's in trouble.
Maybe the Daisy Show or something like that.
This bitch don't do nothing. She's sleeping on my lap right now. Like, she don't do nothing to earn her keep.
But you getting her dick.
I mean, well, listen, I personally think she might be a little gay, but
Hey, yo.
I think she might be a little
Oh,
gay.
So, Mel, it's clear that you're having a lot of fun with the pod. Are we expecting to see Mel at the JBP 2024-2025? This is a question from the crowd.
I would love that. Listen, the contract talks are usually between Joe and Flip. I let them fucking go crazy on that shit, So, I think that the conversation with me and Joe probably won't take place on air. But
thank you.
I hope so. Cuz I'm enjoying myself. I love it, and I adore the guys. Hopefully they feel the same way about me. And the audience is I love how just involved the audience is. Like, the audience is just so invested, and it's just great. It really is. It's really, really great. So I hope so.
How do you think the JBP does that? Like, how do you think they accomplished that? Like, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it starts with Joe because it's his show. And he's just like he's very dynamic. You know, he's dynamic, he's charismatic, he's all those things, you know, he's fucking nuts. He's funny as shit. He's extremely knowledgeable. But I mean, he's really good. He's just really good at what he does. Like he got the whole fucking radio voice going. He's an excellent storyteller. He uses music to infuse, um, you know, like make a point or, um, you know, create like a bed underneath a conversation or something like that. And it's just always the right timing. His drops are hilarious. I mean, just it's all these really dope things that just add to, like, you know, what makes him like a really incredible host. And then, you know, as a co-host, you just kind of want to try to continuously rise to the occasion and create compelling content for everybody to digest. And yeah, that's and I think we accomplished that the majority of the time, at least. And so I think that that's why the audience is so invested.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And speaking of, Joe and this being his show and all, I think this is a question that a lot of the community members and a lot of the fans and supporters want to know. Joe has alluded to the fact that he wants more, whole stories and, like industry people on the pod. And so we've seen that he's bringing baddies onto the pod. So I want to know, how does that make you feel when he makes statements like that?
Well, I mean, I love when he has the baddies on, you know, episodes, whether I'm there or not. I mean, like these are, you know, people that he knows, he's got personal relationships with. Um, and you know, he knows that he's probably not going to get a whole bunch of host stories out of me. So whoever's willing to serve them up on a platter, bring them on. Fuck it. You know, better
Okay.
than me.
So, but with that, Tone, one of our people in the community, wanted to know if Mel feels like, or not Mel, I'm sorry, if you feel like they've created a safe space for you to like want to share more of your experiences, or are you just going to be so guarded that it's like kind of like, yeah, bring other people on to do it?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I'm in the storytelling mood, but you know, it usually you guys are just not it's not to be expected. Never. It should never be expected from me. And I like that. One you might get a surprise story and it blows your mind, and then I mute up on anything personal or whatever, like in that respect, for 6 months, because it's not that's not my angle. That's not the way that that's not how I
Okay.
talk about my thing, you know? So, yeah.
I get that. I completely get that. But I have to say, at Pod's Giving, there was all this talk going on, and you were telling this story, I guess, about somebody that you knew that tried to, like, I guess, talk to. I want to say it was Chris Paul. It was somebody big, but it sounded so interesting, and we never got to hear it. So, do you ever maybe think that maybe it's just the kind of stories like? There, you don't necessarily have to sacrifice yourself to tell some of the great stories that I'm sure you've experienced, right?
Sometimes the story just involves people that, you know, you just don't want to walk down memory lane and, you know, maybe cause a problem in their current life. Um, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm conscious of that a lot too. Um, yeah, I'm definitely conscious of that a lot too. Sometimes I just, you know, don't want to tell a story because I want to protect the innocent and the guilty.
Okay. So Omaretto wanted to know, how do you prep for the pod? Both your topics and the mental emotional prep it takes to be in a room full of men for long periods of communication. What's your pre-pod culture or ritual rather?
I stand in the mirror and I I put my makeup on. I listen to some murder death kill shit. Um like some podcast about a murderer or mass murder or something, maybe Crime Junkie or Crime All the Time or Dateline or something like that. That's literally how I prep. It brings me comfort. I don't know why, it just does. Um, that's basically my pre-prep stuff. During the week though, so let's just say we tape on a Friday and then we don't see each other until Tuesday. During that span of time, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and I think that I've kind of like gotten a nugget from that, I'll write that in my notes. If I'm watching a TV show and I don't know, like there's a scenario playing out that I think would be a really dope question to pose to the guys, I'll write that down, or I'll write down said TV show that I watched to see if, anybody else has watched it and we have a conversation about that. So that's like pre-planning. But the planning, like before I walk in the door, that's definitely just listening to some murder, death, kill shit while I'm putting my makeup on, breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth, little bit of meditative breathing. And then I, tell Daisy to grab her pocketbook and we walk out the door.
Wait a second. What's murder, death, kill? Like, give me the playlist, your pre-pod playlist, because this shit sounds funny as fuck. Like, wait.
I mean, I'll just be listening to like an episode of Dateline, or I'll be listening to an episode of Crime Junkie, or I'll be listening to an episode of Crime All the
Oh,
Time. Like,
jeez.
yeah, or like an episode of Morbid. Like,
How are you supposed to fucking have fun if you're coming in listening to some goddamn like murder, death, kill? Like,
oh my god, no, that shit that shit calms me. It helps regulate my breathing. Like, I love it. Like, you don't like watching like murder, death,
I
kill
do.
documentaries and stuff like
I
while you're
do.
the wine
I
chill.
do.
Yeah.
I do. I
So
have favorite serial killers. I'm not gonna lie. Like
yeah.
I am to that shit. But like I feel like before I pod, I kind of like have a little playlist of more like, yeah, I'm that bitch, I'm that diva. I can whatever it is to get me hyped and ready to go. Like I just don't know if that's setting you for the right energy for a pod with a bunch of niggas.
Oh no, I just it just is relaxing. It's just relaxing. And then when I'm driving to the pod, even though I don't, it's not a long drive, I listen to classical music.
Mel.
Uh,
This is why
again,
Joe. This right here is why Joe. Really? Okay, I'm gonna let it go. This is a safe space.
yeah, definitely. I'm listening to like classical music. That's just I have to like, get the cortisol levels down in the morning, and that's how I do it. That's how I just that's how I regulate. Yep. That
Okay, Mel, the JBP fourth quarter caused a lot of uproar. How has the last 4 months affected your mental health? At any point, did you question if the stress is really worth remaining on the pod? That's a question from somebody else.
holy shit. That is
I know,
deep.
it's dark as fuck. I didn't even want to ask it, but it's next on my list.
Um, I don't I'll just say I don't like to run away from challenges. I don't. And I think that all of us have our days where we need a mental health reprieve, where there's just too much going on, and I think we have a better understanding of how to self-care as individuals. And so I would say that the guys are very, they really are. They're really okay with like when I say I'm having a difficult time coping, I'm having a difficult time with this, I'm having difficulty with that. Um, and so if I've needed to take like a break, they've honored that and been really great about it. So I haven't thought about leaving because they're so good about letting me take the time that I need in order to like gather myself. Because sometimes it is challenging. It is, especially now that the holidays are coming. I mean, I think that a lot of people, you know, um, their holidays don't look like curated Christmas cards. There's a lot of people that don't really look forward to the holidays. And for me, with having no parents, it's kind of lonely. So, fourth quarter does get a little bit get challenging for a lot of people, myself included. But I have not considered leaving. Nope, nope, no.
Very good. Very good answer. Because like during the third and fourth quarter, it's been a wild third and fourth, right? But the pod just thrives off of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
But I think that's just life in general. Life is about streams and clicks and controversy and gossip. Like that's just what life is now. It and it's morphed into this this living breathing monster that we feed constantly. And so there's just really kind of like no escaping it. Um, you have no choice but to adapt to the fact that this is what life is like now. Yeah. So we we just we're just going with the flow. We're just
I
going with
definitely, definitely
I
got to
can
make the best out of it. Go ahead, Juicy. What?
no,
I
I
have
was
one more.
say I can understand why you stay off of the internet so much, like except for to maybe post a little bit if that's what you like see it as. Like that sounds so sad to me to feel like life is just streams and clicks and all of that. Like, and I'm not there yet, and I am definitely approaching there. Like, I'm not gonna say like it hasn't been a lot of drama and like harassment in these past few weeks, but that sounds really kind of sad. Like, what would you give advice to people that are trying to like do this without losing their mind?
I mean, for me, when it comes to the internet, Instagram and stuff like that, the pages that I follow for the most part are not going to stress me out. I follow a lot of mental health pages. I follow a lot of comedians because I want to laugh. I follow a lot of like animal pages. I follow a lot of nature pages. I follow some fashion pages. I follow some friends, not all of them. Um, but so I've made my following on Instagram so that fuck shit doesn't pop up and like disturb my peace kind of thing. And when I say that life is kind of like just become like streams and blah blah blah, it's just the stuff that like I see and deal with on a regular basis. I mean, like that's kind of part of my job to know these things. I deal in the world of analytics. If you're going to be a a public persona, if you're going to be like forward facing, if you're going to be like some kind of an influencer in any way, shape, or form, peddling products and stuff like that, or being on a podcast and views, analytics, streams. These are the things that you have no choice but to make yourself educate yourself about, and be aware of constantly. So shit. If I moved to New Zealand tomorrow and started living on a farm, you think I give a fuck about a stream or a fucking view? No, I'd be over here milking this fucking cow and staring into the abyss of some beautiful ass shit. My life would be completely different, but the way my life is now, this is this is just kind of like the constant thing. So it's neither sad nor happy. It's just kind of like a fact, you know? Um
So what
Okay.
does keep you inspired these days? That was a question from Rashida Diaz.
what keeps me inspired? It's funny. The working title on my podcast is I'm not in love with anything. Because I was just like, I just wanted to I've been feeling this ubiquitous feeling of melancholy and malaise. No, okay, let me shut the fuck up. What inspires me? I don't know if inspiration is the word that I would use. But what kind of feeds my soul? Um, I quietly volunteer at an animal shelter. I don't post it. I used to post about it when I was in LA. I don't post about it here. I really never mention that I'm there. Um, but that feeds my soul. Volunteering at an animal shelter, playing with puppies and kittens and the dogs and cats that are up for adoption. Um, Hanging with being able to spend quality time with friends that really really I truly know love me. Having moved, like I said, having moved back to the East Coast, I've been able to really reinvest into into my friendships that existed when I lived in having moved to LA. But it's just really great being back here, with people that I know really love and genuinely care about me. Um, my work is gratifying and it's exciting, um and then just you know um I'm starting to like act again, and projects are coming my way that is making me extremely happy. I really love it, I really enjoy it. I'm excited for everybody to see what I've been working on. I know the guys are going to fucking rib the shit out of me, but hey, whatever. I'm looking forward to it. But these are the things that are um, making me really happy right now, making my life feel really full and meaningful.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh,
And who was your favorite guest been so far to come to the JBP? I know you got a lot of LA friends, and they coming out east for the show. Who has been your favorite guest?
Hmm. That's a hmm. That's an interesting question.
Question from Geeked Up Productions, by the way.
While you think about it, what makes it interesting? Like, tell us what you're thinking since you think so much.
Um, Trying to think of all the guests that we've had. Um, I really love when Ian comes up there, Master Investor. I love when Ian comes up there. I really have a good time. It's getting hard to even look at him as a guest because he's such a friend of the show, and he's, like super cool with Joe and super cool with Ish, that it's like it's kind of hard to label him as a guest. So if I'm going to label a guest, then I would say Ian, just because I really adore him. Um, Blue Williams, former manager of Outcast, who's another very close personal friend of mine and Joe's. He came up and did the show. I loved when Killer Mike came on the show. I loved that interview. Killer Mike is so wildly like intelligent. Holy shit. Like you could just listen to this dude talk for hours. He is so smart, so intelligent, just gracious, um crazy charismatic, dope sense of humor. Like I really enjoyed Killer Mike. Really, 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 really did. Yeah. I would say that that was my favorite.
okay, Mel, what's easier for you? Was it being on a podcast that was produced or being on a podcast that's more improvised and on the fly?
Which one is which? I'm
Like,
kidding.
oh no, I'm saying which one? Yeah, yeah. I mean, which one's
Um,
easier to you, or is it completely different? Go ahead.
I think that both have their advantages, and disadvantages. You just kind of, I don't know. I like both. I like both. I wouldn't say that I like one more than the other. I really like both. Yeah, because they both give you the opportunity to be creative, but like something that's produced might just have like a very specific um direction that it's going in per episode, like one particular like theme that acts as an umbrella, and then anything that like kind of falls under it is cool, but it limits you from like going you know anywhere outside of that.
So improvising, like when you're on a produced show, you have somebody in your ear consistently telling you something, right? So it's not easier just going on the fly on the pod. You don't think so? In that sense, listening to somebody consistently telling you things you need to change in your ear, a
Well,
producer.
well, the only time I've really actually experienced like having somebody in my ear, like as a producer, is when you're on TV. Is when I've been on TV. That's when I'll have like an IFB in my ear and somebody, feeding me information, um, or like giving me cues or telling me to, fall back off of something. So, podcast world, I feel like for the most part is a lot of times it's unless it's like a podcast devoted to like telling a specific story, like Serial, that shit is mad produced. Um, Whereas, what we do is like it's a lot of improvisation, a lot.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I got a question. So say one of us were on the pod, like we came on the pod on a day you guys were shooting. What's something that happens behind the scenes that we wouldn't expect?
We're always complaining about the fucking snacks. um we're always eating. That's what you'd see behind the scenes. You'll always see us get up and eat. That's what we're doing a lot of the time behind the scenes is we're eating. I would say that's 90% of what we're doing behind the scenes, like when, we take breaks.
I love that about you. Like, you fine as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, but god damn it, you love to eat. The way you killed on it was it improper improv? They had those little like oxtail, like macaroni and cheese thing. You was killing that shit. I was like, my bitch can eat. I like that. Like, yes, man.
Those patties are fire. Mac and cheese oxtail in a beef patty and cocoa bread. Oh my god, it was so good.
How much
Yes.
you work out after that?
It didn't change a thing I was doing. I do not penalize myself like I used to. Like I will eat the cake anime. That's my motto. If I want the cake, I'm eating it. I'm eating it. Like I have an 80, I kind of follow an 80-20 kind of situation. I really like healthy food, but if I want to eat some fuck shit, I'm gonna eat the fuck shit.
I got a question for you from Rage Fit. Would you like to be an A mic at any point soon on any show? Are you looking to be an A mic, like the host?
Well, I guess that would be my own show that I would be the A mic on. And I am, I'm starting to put the pieces together. So, I might have something to announce very shortly, working on it. But I'm comfortable being A mic, B mic. I'm comfortable in every scenario, you know. I don't know if I would be as good at one-liners as Parks is, because that is a special fucking talent. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I'm working on an A mic, little A mic situation. I just don't have that much information to give you guys just yet.
You mentioned protecting your brand at times on the show. Like you'll be quiet and um, not want to speak on certain things. For you, what does that mean for you? Protecting your brand.
Well, protecting my brand is not what the fuck just happened the last 2 weeks. That was a catastrophe. Um, I guess the antithesis of what happened over the course of the last 2 weeks would be what I meant by brand protection. Um, Kind of staying within the boundaries of um, what you would like people to kind of associate with your name and your image. For me, um, I want to be looked at and seen as like a mental health advocate because of the experiences that I've gone through personally and that I've been very candid about sharing. Um, I would like to be seen as a health, fitness, wellness advocate slash, you know, uh, influencer, for lack of a better word. I fucking hate that word so much, but you know what I mean. Um, I mean, I'm kind of to me, I'm kind of hashtag goals. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm 25, I'm looking at me and I'm saying I want I want to kind of look like her when I get to her age. Like how is she doing it? How is she maintaining? How has she maintained for the last 30 years or whatever number you want to put on it? Like um that's what I would like to be seen as. That's how I would like to be regarded. Um I'm that's the work that I need to do to kind of like increase that effort. But yeah, that's how I want to be regarded, because sexiness, it's innate, but eventually, a new crop comes in and you got to make way, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I'm really, really, really good with all of the phases that life presents, just as long as I'm alive. Like, that's the goal. Stay alive, and I don't think there's enough emphasis put on that. But yeah.
Talk
Yeah,
your shit.
I'll
Tell them
definitely
young
agree.
girls that they need to look up and see you.
Yeah, and also like you were saying about you don't like the word influencers, but I feel like you kind of need to embrace the word influencers because you influence the influencers. You are literally what the influencers are following, your map. So maybe if you realize that, you can embrace it a little bit more because everything they do, and it, like you've said so many times, it was like you were before your time.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I guess I shouldn't. I want to embrace the word. It's just, I guess, when a word kind of gets like overused, and it starts to develop like a negative connotation. And so that's the only hesitation that I have in using the word. But you are correct in saying what you said. You are right. I will agree with you, and congratulate myself. Thank you.
It felt funny, huh? You was
It
laughing.
felt, it felt weird as fuck. Felt weird as fuck. Yeah.
Go ahead, Juicy. And Juicy, go ahead.
Oh no, I guess I kind of wanted to go through the mail word of the week. We were going to do a propos, but I put a little too many syllables in that. I'm like tripping right now. But I was gonna do that, but you already kind of explained what it was. And then while we were in the spaces, you did a great word. Johnny, was it? What was it?
Indelible.
There we go.
Oh shit. Yep.
I feel
Tell me
like
what
she
it means.
dropped like 7 words today.
Yeah, like people in the comments are saying that they like had to get a dictionary out to listen to you. Like you're giving classes.
I mean, the funny thing is, when I was a kid, I used to read. Like, I'm a nerd, and hashtag nerds unite. My fist is in the air. I am a self-described nerd, and I am proud of it. But I used to read the dictionary and thesaurus, and encyclopedias, like when I was really, really young. I've always been extremely fascinated with words, and their origin and stuff like that. And so I used to, kind of flip the pages of a dictionary and close my eyes, and then whatever word I ended up on, I challenged myself to use that word in a sentence at least 3 times during that day. Like some real nerd shit. I am clear on this. But because I did that, I ended up with a ridiculously extensive vocabulary. It was a total accident. I wasn't trying to do it. It's just I'm a fucking geek. So that's why my lexicon is so extensive.
Hey, we
Have
love
you ever want to?
they better love geeks. I'm a geek, like for real, for real. Like y'all already know how many degrees I have. Y'all know I watch anime, so we love geeks. Don't even let them talk shit about that.
Okay, good. Okay.
Hey Mel, other than what you already let us know, any other plans for 2024 you want to give us just for you to give out, or what do you think for 2024?
I don't know. I'm just just tomorrow's not promised, so I'm hoping I make it. And I can say that because, my prior experiences, tomorrow is definitely not promised. So I hope I make it, and just I'm just gonna take it each day at a time. And I hope that all of the seeds that I'm planting right now bear in, a bountiful harvest. Joe's rolling his eyes right now, I'm sure. um, but yeah, I mean, I just like the A mic project that I'm talking about. I hope I have a lot of faith in that project. It is a baby that I am raising right now. I'm birthing, and I hope that everybody loves it when it comes out. Um, I'm very superstitious and I'm old school. So I don't ever really like to talk about projects when they're in their developmental phase until, I'm able to like shout it from the rooftops, or actually just let people discover it on their own and be like, "Oh my God, why did you tell us?" And I'm like, "'Cause I'm a creep." And I hold my cards close to the vest. 'Cause yeah, I'm old school and that's how we do it. Real
God,
G- real
Canada.
serve real G's move in silence like lasagna. Oh God, I'm gonna stop talking right now.
No, you literally said because I'm a creep, and I was like, God damn, Canada. Like, is this really how y'all self-deprecate? Like, God damn.
Yes, yeah. Also, I have girlfriends that call me creep life because I don't. Apparently, I don't tell them things, and they're like, "You never fucking tell us this and that and blah blah blah. We always find out this that, other way," and I'm like, "Whoops, sorry, forgot." Yeah.
How do you go about choosing brands to partner with? And like, what's something that you see like out there that you probably would feel like, oh, this brand and Melyssa Ford go hand in hand. They need to reach out right now.
There's got to be an authentic alignment. I will not do any. I'm really not about doing any novelty shit if I don't really passionately feel um an alignment with the brand. Like I can truly sell it in an authentic manner because I use it, or I like it, or it's a part of my lifestyle. I don't really want to have anything to do with it. That's how I kind of look at things when it comes to brands. So if it's something like a great brand for me would be like HelloFresh, because it's healthy cooking, it's ingredients, like, yeah, that's right up my alley. So that would make sense, you know.
There was a lot of jokes on the pod cracking on you for not having a manager and just having an agent. Did you end up looking into getting an agent, or are you just sloughing off what these guys are saying?
Well, no, I do have an agent. I have like theatrical agent. Finding a manager these days is not easy. It's not like you can throw a rock and you hit one. And also, finding a manager is, it's somebody that you've got to create like a kind of symbiotic kind of relationship with. It's not transactional. This is somebody that's going to um you know you develop a very personal relationship with them because they know a lot about you, um and they will see you on probably your worst days, and they're gonna have to kind of like pick you up, dust you off, kind of thing. So it's not easy to find a manager. I know that the conversation was had kind of in a cavalier manner, um but it's not a cavalier thing.
Fair enough. How do you feel about having you know, like the melodies? How do you feel about having them? Like you have a whole group of people that just rock with you. How do you feel about that? Is that new to you?
No, 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 no. I've had like supporters throughout the course of my career. I don't think we've had a name for them before, so calling them, I love the melodies. Like I love it. It's fantastic. Like I said, when I'm going out and people like will just like hooty hoo me, I think that shit tickles me. I think it's great. I really, really do think it's great.
Well, Mel, you get a lot of hate, but I also want to let you know that we've been like looking at the comments as you've been speaking, and a lot of people are commenting on how the fact that they can see how well you're able to like articulate yourself and give good points when you are allowed to speak and not interrupted or joked on. So I just wanted to bring that up just in case anybody wanted to defend themselves, but if they don't, it's cool because they don't have to come up and defend themselves. But that is what people are saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody saying that. That's really awesome of you. I appreciate that.
Mel, do you have a mentor, and do you mentor anybody?
I do have a mentor. Her name's Monica. She is amazing. She helps me reframe my thinking whenever I'm like, spiraling or catastrophizing whatever's going on in my life. And as for me mentoring anybody, nobody in particular on like a regular basis, but like I'm always, you know, I always make myself available to anybody who um, you know, asks me for advice, guidance. Um, I make myself available because what's the what's the point of like acquiring wisdom through experience if you don't dispense it?
Gotcha.
More bars, more bars. You just like to drop that shit on us. Anything you would want to say or get out to the JBP audience in general, just from you or things you see or what you feel?
Just thank you guys for listening, for accepting me. Uh, love the melodies. Thank you guys for everything. Hootie fucking who. Um, and yeah, that's really it. Just I'm having the time of my life. I love doing what I'm doing, and I love having such being able to tap into such an engaged audience. This was really dope. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you guys so much for creating the space for me today. I'm grateful, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you right now.
And
Mel,
one last thing,
go ahead.
because
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, you do got a lot of haters. What
What's
would
that?
you? I'm not gonna lie, you got a lot of haters. So what would you like to say to them?
Um, what is it that Joe says about the haters? Thank you for to the first and last time listeners. Blah blah blah. I mean, what do
Pew
you
pew 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 pew. That part.
what are you gonna do? Like, there's always gonna be people that are A, committed to misunderstanding you, or B, they've just kind of decided that they don't like you. What have I always called haters? Um, I don't know. I had
You
some.
probably don't
Joe
know
Budden.
because
Joe
you don't
Budden.
got them.
No, I just I had like this, intelligent little quip that I used to say about haters, and I can't remember it. Probably it's somewhere in my brain floating around. They're just
Is
they
it the love jealousy thing? Like it's hate is just love mixed with jealousy?
I don't know. I don't know. I find people that kind of like, come online just to kind of like, spew vitriol. It's a little weird to me. So I can't really give it a whole lot of energy or thought as to why, and what I want to say to them. I don't really think I have anything to say to them because, again, the commitment to misunderstanding might be super super strong, and hey, go with God. You can stay right there, or you can jump on the bandwagon and become a melody.
Big M4. Melyssa Ford, y'all.
Hootie hoo.
Hootie.
Hoo-hoo-hoo.
Thank you guys.
Yo, Mel, why were you trying to get us 2 weeks without a pod? Why were you trying to request? I don't know what it was, to December 23rd till December or January 8th, or I don't know how long
Dash
that
is
was. That
hot.
was like 3 weeks.
Dash is hot.
Why,
um
why were you trying to do that to us?
Christmas holidays, I don't know, people having wanting to spend time with their families. I don't know, I got crazy for a second. Shit.
Hey, if you don't mind, one of
Mhm.
our co-hosts, he is like your biggest fan. His name is Stag, but he's actually as big a fan of you. He's as big a fan of the Jaguars, and they're playing tonight, and his family got him a ticket, so he couldn't be here. So if you
Aw.
could just give him a shout out, like I know he would love that.
Stag.
Stag, Stag from Duval.
Oh shit. Hey Stag. Sorry that you couldn't make it, but I understand having to go support your favorite team. Um you were missed, but I will be back, and hopefully you'll be there.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll be there when I get back.
Well, I'm gonna pay for one of your things now. One of your little shout outs there. It's amazing.
You're not doing cameo anymore, are you?
I am. I took a little bit of a break.
Was that like for celebrities? Is that like a deal plus whatever you get from the consumer, or is it just you sign up and you get whatever you get from the consumer?
A little bit of both.
Okay, fair enough.
Screening better though, right?
Yeah.
That shit sucked. I know that shit sucked.
Girl,
Yeah.
stop.
No, it's cool. You know, you make what you make. You know, if the customer the customer's always right, apparently, right?
Yeah, but I know what Juice is talking about. She's funny. Yeah. No, more screening.
But you're gonna go back to cameo, you think?
Yeah,
Sooner than later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you guys for this. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
You're
We
welcome anytime.
appreciate you. And anytime you want to come back, pop open the app. Oh shit.
Here,
Oh
Joe.
boy.
Oh damn.
The hate train.
What we
has
did, bro?
arrived.
What we did?
You said you wasn't coming up, and I made you come up.
No, you didn't make me come up. I was coming up at the very end anyway to give a message to the Spaces group. So whenever y'all are done.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
My bad. You check me. Go ahead, Joe.
Wait, were y'all done?
Yeah. We were wrapping it up.
So there was like
Ford said
I
different.
just wanted to come
Go ahead.
up here and really, y'all did an amazing job tonight. The people that Mel, of course, and the people that run the spaces. But I have to salute you guys and tip my hat for just how soft, pussy, and whack y'all were this entire time. Wow.
What do you want us to ask you?
Unlike you, we know how to like.
pussy. Wow,
are we pussy
y'all
or do we know how to treat pussy? Are
Joe
we
Budden
pussy
just
or
got
do we know how to
muted.
treat pussy? Because unlike you, I know that a woman likes to be fucking courted first. A woman likes to be granted a safe space first. So maybe when she comes back, she'll give us that shit that we want.
a bunch of pussies.
What did we miss? What did we miss that we could?
Great one.
Hold on. What did we miss? Did we miss anything? We looked through, we had like 40, 50 questions and she answered almost all of them by like 1 out of 5 questions. They're all the same. So a lot of the shit matched.
What's the question?
What did we miss?
Ask, Joe? What's the question?
I don't work for y'all. Y'all asked what y'all wanted to ask. And great. But I would be remiss if I didn't come up here and tell y'all just how pussy y'all are. Wow. For the time that y'all gave every other pod member, oh, you fucking pussies.
Oh, that's why you mad.
He mad because she got treated nicely.
Joe,
That's
we are happy. Like. We are happy to bring each one of you up here and give you that same treatment. But y'all came in here like y'all wanted to be niggas and roasting and shit, and we knew that Melyssa Ford needed a safe space to speak. Now, don't act like I didn't give Ian, White Ian, we're talking about, as they like to call him, a safe space.
Oh, y'all almost killed White Ian. I forgot about that.
No, not y'all. Not y'all, because I stopped that shit. Did I not provide it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. yeah. Juicy.
Don't do that.
White Ian was nailed to a cross in this space.
Another thing is Mel actually answers the questions. You know, you do a lot of ducking of the questions. So.
Now you trolling me. All right, I'm out of here.
No, but for real, what do you guys feel like she's still on stage? Is there anything that we want to ask her that we missed?
He won't say.
I will leave it up to Melyssa Ford and Melyssa Ford only. Because if you do not feel comfortable, don't answer it.
No, I wasn't saying something so that y'all could keep her here longer. She's been here for 2.5 hours.
That's what the fuck I feel like. It should be
she's been amazing. I love you, Mel. You spun the shit out of these pussies.
So she's spinning narratives, Joe? Is that what you saying? She's like, is she Junior Joe? That's what I've been wondering. I think Mel's watching you. I think a lot of the shit that she said tonight showed that she's literally watching you. Sometimes she literally gets stuck watching you while you do your shit.
I got that. I got that. I
Uh,
learned a lot tonight. And then, you're right, I did learn some words.
Like we know a lot more, us as the JBTV. We know a lot about Joe and his career. Like, this was last minute scheduled. We took questions from the crowd. We did our best. What I felt like was our best. We don't think we skipped over anything. But yeah, she did duck and dodge when I asked certain questions. Like, all of a sudden she loves C.O.E. It's like, okay, cool. You want him there. All right, safe. All right. Like, there's a few things that's like, okay, she answered it the way she wants to answer it. That's it. How do you want me to harp on her?
Wait,
So
hold on.
you don't think she like C.O.E?
hold on, Juicy. Melissa has something to say.
Wait, you guys think I don't like C.O.E? Was that like a thought that people had?
Yes, Mel, that's what they think. They're not in here saying what they think. But when you leave, they're going to start with what they think. And one of those things is they think you hate C.O.E, the laughs in the background. They think you hate it all.
No, 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 no. My response about C.O.E was genuine. He is a heckler, but that shit is funny. Like, even though like I'm talking shit to him, that shit's funny. I like C.O.E a lot.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna speak on the side of the haters, yes, that is a thought. They they think you're displeased with the whole show. That's where the narratives usually start from. They feel like you're displeased with the show. You can't handle Joe, so you're just itching to leave at any second. That's the narratives that get painted.
And if you don't mind, we'd love
Wow.
to ask you some of these hard questions.
I thought you asked all the hard questions.
No, we didn't. Like, a lot of people want to know, like,
What is it, Juicy? I asked about her contract. I asked about C.O.E. I asked about Ish. I asked about, I asked all those
yeah,
type
but
of
you were
questions.
softballing with Ish. You were softballing with Ish. Melissa, can you tell that there's a difference in the way that Ish pods with you versus without you?
Huh. No, I did not notice a difference. What
There's a,
I
there's a big difference, and they talk about it a lot. They speak about they almost make it seem like either you are uncomfortable or he is uncomfortable, but it feels like there's a tension between you two. So, like, even when you were talking about, yeah, you think you would do the show with him, and like maybe even Joe like being the mediator, like Joe would be the only reason why that works to me, because we get a lot of tension from y'all. That shit does not feel fun, and it doesn't feel light.
mm, mm, hmm. I could see that. I could see that. Me and Ish are uh fuck. We're really like we're really cerebral. So I feel like we're not I think there's been times where like I've taken shit really personal when, with what he said. Um I don't know. It's a unique dynamic that's not shared with anybody else on the show. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I think there's some times that he's taking personal some stuff that you said. Like, a lot of us fought for you with that whole saying that you were surprised that he would be on the side of victims, but a lot of people like were actually like really upset that you would even say that about Ish, and why would you even feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that I mean I don't want to speak for Ish, but it's possible um that, you know, it's a reciprocated kind of feeling. Yeah, it's possible.
Is there anything that you think that could like help solve that? Because I feel like that is a lot of the tension. I feel like more people would receive you if they could feel like Ish was the only person that didn't say I stand with Mel. And while I gave him a lot of bail saying Ish is the kind of person to say, I'm literally sitting next to her, obviously I stand with her, that was an issue.
Uh yeah. I mean, you that was noticeable. But like you said, Ish's response would be like, I literally am sitting next to her. So that's me standing with her. Um, that's an ish response, definitely. Um, yeah, I mean, really, these are ish questions.
When Joe started those whole, the narratives and then ended up putting it back on you, how did that in particular make you feel, knowing that you didn't start it, but then you were starting to get the brunt of the blame for it?
Oh,
How
it's
you gonna say that and then say who you thought started it? But whatever.
Well, because I got to add a little sauce to it, man. Come on, let me do my job.
My bad.
that shit was really irritating. I didn't like I didn't like the direction that it went in. It felt like the narrative had been created, and it felt like the minute that I started to lean into it, then it was a problem. And then when apologies were, you know, uh, an apology was needed, blah blah blah. It's just sometimes I just feel like an apology is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Or like recognition or acknowledgement or accountability or whatever the case is. I think that the whole thing kind of got, my favorite phrase, the waters got really muddy. But I felt like really kind of like left adrift in that whole situation. And I looked bad, but all I was doing was leaning into a narrative that everybody had at one point found extremely humorous, So um that's why I'm glad that, it's kind of like over with at this point.
In hindsight, do you think just like it was supposed to be left on the show? Do you think in hindsight, like you wouldn't have posted it and done all that? Like, how do you feel about that now today? Like, what did you learn from it?
I guess one of the things I'm learning is how sensitive people are to like posts that I think are a joke. So that was one thing that I learned, was that I thought was really just like a joke and leaning into the narrative, and everybody made it a really massive deal. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes, like, yeah, okay, fine. Took the picture down. Sorry. But it's
Does
just
that
like,
I'm sorry, does that make you want to lean less into the narrative? Because you bring up a lot of situations where it's like you're trying to be a team player. You're trying to go along with the narrative that they created. And it's like as soon as you go along with it, you become the bad guy. Does that make you want to like cooperate a little less with going with the narrative?
I think anybody would feel that way,
Yeah.
when something just kind of stops being fun, um, and then there's like this serious tone to it, um, then yeah, you definitely want to kind of like back away from it. It's just like, no, if I'm gonna you know, end up in the crosshairs and made to feel like a fucking asshole, after the whole situation, then yeah, like, yeah, sure, keep me out the narratives then. Unless they're going to be like super light and funny, and nobody's going to, catch an attitude or catch any feelings or whatever the case is about the whole scenario. But that one just kind of got really convoluted and fucking weird.
Well, I will say this. We thank you for coming up here and doing this, because while all the other members have come and like put in stuff here and there and listen, you actually came and for hours answered our questions. You did more than they ever did. And I do appreciate you, Joe. And I feel where
That's
you're coming from. But this was an interview and you haven't given us an interview, and you're welcome to, and we will give you the same kind of treatment.
Yo, Juicy, she's media trained, bro. Like Joe just likes the bullshit. She's
Oh,
media
so
trained. Like we gotta
Joe,
identify the
what
difference.
makes you think Joe chooses not to say or
Y'all have
say
100% interviewed me multiple times, my man.
who?
Exactly. We've talked about him. We've gotten a lot of info from him. The shit got clipped up. We went viral a couple times. Like, bro, he gave us shit.
Yeah,
Y'all
we do
But
that.
I wasn't trying. I wasn't ever trying to go viral, and all that shit has made them feel like they don't want to be here, and that's never what we was trying to do. We was just kind of fucking review the fucking podcast.
But we do ask them questions every week. We do
You're
Q and
right.
A.
Okay, I'll give y'all that. I'll give y'all that. Joe, I'm sorry, but don't act like you've sat. This is a hot seat. She sat in a hot seat.
I
Did
did.
she not?
that's the opposite of what he's saying. He's saying that we let her do her media train shit. It's cool. Like she got her shit off. We're
That
happy
seat
she
was
got.
freezing.
Hilarious.
Oh, you don't feel like it was hot, Melissa? Do you feel like it was hot at times?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Thank you for
I think
answering
I
that
think there's a
honestly.
bias. I think there's a bias that y'all have as men. Like there's certain shit as women. If you fuck up and say the wrong shit, it's gonna go a way bad. Like, wait, I think y'all see that. Like we've been seeing it the past few weeks. Like it's a hot seat.
Yeah, I
Joe,
can't lie. It's really hard to have like any conversation nowadays with a woman without her saying as a woman.
Okay, well, how about this? How about this, Joe? I feel like you actually have a very good experience. I'm not going to say it's comparable to a woman experience, but what you've had to go through as far as being discredited, constantly like gaslit as far as what you've done in your job and like what you've actually accomplished because people just simply do not like you. That is similar to the woman experience. So, I'm saying that there are times whenever you sit down, like you kind of limited with us, and you even said that you weren't going to come back up and speak with us because you did not want to end up getting in your feelings and cussing out people and all that other stuff that ended up happening, which I wish never happened. But at the same time, that's the kind of shit that women go through on a daily basis. And I feel like you understand that. And that's why you're able to communicate with women so well. How about that?
Touche.
Yeah, Joe comes up here on stage for like 3-4 minutes and just says something that he wasn't supposed to say, and then like that's how he is. That's just how he is. He likes the spicy shit. Mel is a lot more media trained, and maybe we weren't super prepped for it, and we just wanted to give her a space to get her shit off. We didn't want to just keep harping on the same questions. That's what it was. I think
I
that's the
think
biggest
she's
difference.
just an intelligent woman, Dash. It doesn't really always have to do with media training. She's
Oh, don't do
intelligent.
that to
She
me.
knows
Don't do
how.
that to me. That's hella.
I'm
Don't
But
do
damn
that
he's
sure
to me.
right
about to do
though.
it to you.
He's right though.
I
Like
know she's smart as fuck. I have to Google every fucking fourth word she says. I have to go on Google and do that shit. Like, bro, of course I know she's smart.
Oh, well, thank you guys. Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
just trying to get a cameo shout out. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You're hilarious. I got
Stags, he knows something happened, but he's really excited, so he's gonna love that. Expect a shout out.
Aw- awesome, awesome. I will. I'll look for it.
Thank you.
No, okay, wait. Before she leaves, how is Joe as a boss? Like to you, as a host, as a boss, what do you think of Joe himself? It was on my list. You guys didn't put it on my list. Anyway, go ahead.
I think that he is I think he's a mad genius. Yep, that's what I think.
That's a
Hmm.
great
One word for real? Like one word description? Just genius?
That was
mad
two
genius.
word
That
mad genius.
too.
Y'all counting her words?
No,
Okay. Whatever.
You didn't count.
Okay, there was another question. It was like, does Joe yell more off of camera or on camera? I thought it was crazy, but now that we're talking about this, maybe that applies.
I would say it's about the same. I definitely say it's about the same. We definitely get into heated off camera conversations. Um, yeah, we definitely do. Yeah, so I think it's both. Can she come?
I see the need for serial killer docs and classical music now.
Oh shit.
See? You see? You see? I gotta. It's like it's you gotta calm the chaos sometimes.
Thinking, you're thinking about killing the chaos, not calming the chaos. Like you're like fantasizing about killing shit.
You know, you listen. You gotta stay prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. You gotta stay prepared.
See?
Joe, Joe, thoughts on her staying
Don't try to
prepared?
mute up now. You in the hot seat.
I'm sorry, I was doing something, so I didn't hear.
Good. You got to listen to
What
playback on
happened?
that one. I'm not repeating that. Mm-mm.
Melyssa
I
Ford.
heard I heard mad scientist or some shit, so I was pleased.
Oh, you are a mad scientist. I think you know that. I think you enjoy that. Like you go back and forth on saying I'm a narcissist. No, I'm not a narcissist. And I'm like, who the fuck does that? You're funny.
I do that to play into the narrative. There's nothing narcissistic about me,
I know. Like I
but it
know.
is
Like
funny.
that's why I'm like, why do you do that? That's fucking mad genius shit. Like why would you do that?
I love a good narrative.
Do you ever think down the road of the narrative, like this particular one that kind of went a little array? Um, did you kind of see it going that far before, or kind of was just in the flow of things?
I don't know what narrative went away.
The narrative that we think you painted about Mel and Ish. So,
Oh, please, no comment.
oh, see, you see the hot seat. It gets hot. No, Mr. No comment.
I don't think that was hot, but I don't want to bore y'all with how I don't think I started that narrative. I'll just
Okay.
Did he
I'll
really
just
I
start
don't
that?
want to. He right.
Did
He
he
I'll
right.
really
just
start?
accept y'all telling me that I started it.
Who's y'all? I don't think he started the narrative. Didn't it start on that Patreon? Like when she came in as a guest?
Yeah, I don't believe I started that narrative at all.
Okay, you just like fan the flames.
Oh yeah, no, always, without a doubt. Come on, y'all know the vibes. Fuck are we talking about?
Hilarious.
Joe, do you know when that Nikki interview is coming?
No, it should be this week though.
Thank you. How about the need to know part 2?
Nah, fuck that. Are you
Not
gonna
my
But
be?
no,
show.
Are you?
Not my
Are you
show.
gonna put Nikki in the hot seat?
Am
Because
I
you talking
putting?
about us right now. Are we gonna see a softball interview?
I wouldn't say it's an interview. It's
Uh,
all music based.
so it sounds like it's no hot seats, huh?
I also feel like I've already put her in the hot seat. I've dragged her. I've beefed with her. Don't ever compare yourself to Mom.
Okay.
We good?
Yeah.
We good? All
Yeah.
right.
I've got to jump out, you guys. I got to go walk Daisy. She's been staring at me like, bitch.
Big Mel.
Big M4.
Thanks, guys.
thanks,
Thank you
Mel.
for
You're always welcome.
joining us.
Love you, Mel.
Welcome.
Appreciate you, Mel.
Come
Okay.
back next month.
Okay, for sure. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
But fucking Joe, see what you did, bro?
Always scaring the women away.
Hey, yo.
How can Joe scare the hoes when he talks to him so well? Like, goddamn, and Mel's not a hoe, but I'm just saying, I love the saying, goddamn.
I said women.
No, you guys. Mel just really had to go. Everybody can't just sit and talk to y'all for more than 3 hours.
Yes, yes. Give yourself a pat on the back, and thank you for always joining us and being a good supporter of us. We appreciate it all. Thank you.
Yeah, juicy. Like he was on here for like 13 out of what, 17 so far? 12 out of 17 or something like that. I don't think it was like even as far as how long he's been on stage versus like her. You know what I mean?
Hey, cape away. Cape
I'm not caping.
away.
I'm not caping. It's just facts. She's been on here once.
Yeah,
Maybe
when
when she comes
the
here,
time like for 3 hours, like he said. Like, come on.
right? Okay, okay. I'm not gonna argue it, but yeah, definitely for hours on it. And we've asked him. We've gotten a lot of shit out of him. So, but anyway, any other questions you guys have? Anything you all want to discuss?
Y'all want to let them rock the 10 o'clock?
Let
Fair
me
enough.
10 o'clock. What y'all finna talk about? What we finna get
Uh,
spicy on?
do you want to hear some reaction to the interview? What you want to go into topics? What you want to do?
We could probably hear some reactions. I'm not mad at that.
All right, I'm gonna let Juice up. Um, that's go ahead, Juice.
Yo,
What's going on?
Yep.
y'all got me? Y'all hear me?
Loud
Yes,
and
sir.
clear.
I got a question for Joe, man. I know last time you said merch was on the way. You know what I mean? It's winter time. It's getting cold. I just want to know when I could pre-order my JBP cock sock. You know what I mean? I just got my fresh laser dick shape up using the promo code. It's 69. You know what I mean? It's getting cold out here. What's good with that pre-order on that cock sock?
Yo, that was wild, Juice. That was wild. Freedom Gang.
Talk to me.
You talked to us. You just requested up here. What you got to say?
Oh, I thought you was gonna ask me a question, Jesus. I don't know how this. I don't know how this shit works. So I'm just stepping
Man,
on.
if you don't get your ass on, man, you don't look like Mel. You don't sound like Mel. Fuck, I gotta ask you anything for. Go ahead, Feets.
Yo, I'm fucking screaming. You expect me to go after that?
I don't know what he
I
wanted
What
do.
me
the
to ask him.
fuck? But nah,
I do. Make it entertaining, boo.
but nah. Shout out to y'all though. Y'all did y'all thing. For anybody who was like, "Oh my God, y'all didn't ask the questions," like, chill out. Mel was asked to be here, so respectfully, we gonna keep it respectful. And if y'all got a problem, see me.
Feats, it's not even that. We looked at all the questions. We put them on a chart from the whole community. A lot of them are the same questions.
Yeah, yeah,
People
Dash, but
aren't
I'm
looking
talking
at
I'm
everyone
talking about
else's.
what y'all not seeing because y'all busy hosting. Yeah.
Oh no, I've been scrolling the timeline. I've been
Yeah, that's
scrolling
what
the
I'm talking
comments too.
about. Everybody like, oh, I'm talking about that. Yeah.
Ooh, can we get a mod review? What kind of things were they trying to hate about?
What aren't they hating about? We be we be trying for it's funny because outside of like mods, like y'all really be like trying to bring shit to the community. And I think it's because honestly, they just don't know the behind the scenes stuff. They just assume shit. So I ain't calling nobody out, but I just had a little discourse with somebody. And I was like, hey, she was asked to be here tonight. It ain't like she just showed up like Joe and like the other hosts who had been here tonight. So this was a lot more formal, a lot more put together. We was not about to let you ratchet ass niggas up here and ask wild ass fucking questions to Mel to where she would never fucking come back again. Let's be fucking for real. We want her to at least come back again. So we not about to let y'all fucking crazy ass motherfuckers up here asking her shit from shit that she don't want to talk about, shit that y'all have no business asking her. So it was not going down. Y'all could ask Joe that messy shit. We not finna do that shit to Mel. Eh,
Yeah,
I hear.
people think we sent her the topic list or the questions. We didn't do any of that. This was all on the fly. This was probably our first like interview. Is that safe to say? Is that our first interview?
Yeah.
Like formal?
It
Definitely.
feels like my first
Y'all
official
first
one. The only
official
one I
interview
really
where
look
someone
forward to.
came on, y'all knew they were coming on. First official interview. So the others, y'all just got to see some good shit happen off of the strength of some good shit happening. Like Joe coming in here, Ian coming in here, black and white Ian. Parks coming in here, Ice coming in here. Shout outs to Ice. We gonna get him back to, our side. It's okay. He gonna be back. And hopefully Mel will be back consistently. And hopefully this allowed y'all to see more from Mel and hear from her without being stepped on. So, Joe, let this be a little shebang. Let her talk sometimes. We know she meander and all that bullshit. We like that shit. It's okay. Okay, maybe we don't, but it's okay. We still okay. Like, we okay with it. Just let her fucking meander a little bit and get her shit off.
It's all right.
Pete,
I'm
Pete,
I'm filtering through the bullshit. I mean, what you saying?
That's fine.
Pete, which one did you like better,
No,
Joe?
I'm talking about the we like the meander part. I'm not trying to be funny. Like I know that you don't mean that.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic, but just let her meander just a little bit.
I,
Joe, how much is that engagement really worth? All right. We say we meander, but people talk shit about it. You know what I'm saying? It brings something out of people. And I know a lot of that is based off, your show and you get that sort of reaction. But how much is it really worth? Does it play into the thought of she's a special on the show and things like that?
Okay. Anyways, so
Well,
Mushy,
What
go.
was
Oh shit. So y'all did a great job with the conversation with Mel. It's crazy how we were talking about her 2 weeks ago, and then that Colin episode came out, and that was like the funniest episode with all of them together. But then the episode that just dropped without Ish and Flip there, it still rode good. So it's like that combination without them, it's crazy because the last episode has been great. Like y'all getting back to like being funny, and that Colin episode was funny, and this last episode was funny. So it's kind of like Mel caught her, did what we wanted her to do, but she ended on one of them, and I was like, come on, Mel. But if Ish was there, he would have stopped it. Well, that's there and all that. But it's good. It kind of confused me. But if y'all can get back to that, how that episode, that Colin episode, and how it just rode him, it was just funny, then that shit was gold. Like, but y'all did a great job tonight, and she answered the question. Y'all know she was on Duck and Dodge.
Go ahead, Joe. Now.
Hey y'all. I think y'all did an amazing job. Love you, Joe, but I know that big Virgo energy. You wanted to be treated like a baddie too. We understand. We'll give it to you next time. But I think Mel did amazing. I've heard her on her platform. No tears, Joe. But I've heard her on other platforms. That was like pure Mel energy, like very talkative. Like I think she did a good job. Y'all played it safe, but I don't think that that was bad. We didn't. I think no one really knew how to engage. It's probably everyone's first time hearing or speaking to Mel directly. I think it's better to play it safe than, you know, not, and then chase her away. So Juicy, Dash, Micah, Johnny, y'all killed it. Don't let Joe put the battery in the back because he is a big Virgo energy, big chaotic. We know how it goes. We know how Joe
Yeah,
gets.
like the thing is, it's our first time even talking to her, period, right?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, like if she comes up more often, then it's probably just going to be kicking it sessions, talking about random shit and just shooting the shit, just like how sometimes when Joe comes up,
Yeah, but I will
we'll
say
have,
I
yeah.
wanted to ask her. Listen, I don't know if Joe would like this, but I definitely wanted to ask a question about how she feels being caught in between him and Charlemagne. Like, let's wake that up, since she's friends with both. I don't know. I don't know, Joe.
I didn't know she was friends with Charlemagne.
Bro, the whole cast be mingling with the quote unquote ops. I don't think he really gives a shit for himself, at least.
Possible.
Go ahead, T Rankin.
Hi guys, good morning or good evening. It's morning here. Thank you very much for that interview. I really enjoyed it. I think the hosts were really, really good considering how sensitive this could have been. Micah and Juicy in particular, I think y'all were really good and like really respectful. But especially you, Micah, especially you, Juicy, you also challenged her, but you were kind about it. And I think that's exactly what she needed. Mel coming up here to speak on her experience on the pod, you could really obviously see that this is someone that really, really cares about the people she's working with. She really cares about the experience, and she also wants to improve for the fans to enjoy. And I think it's been a difficult few weeks for her for sure. But it's not due to a lack of care, and it's not due to a lack of her not being interested in how the fans perceive her job. It's just you're navigating a new space with a new hat. And for some people, they only want to experience a woman like Mel in a particular way, which is telling whole stories or telling stories about who fucked who, pardon my French. And if she doesn't want to do that, she wants to show you other parts of herself. I think it's okay to also allow her to be that and to open your own mind to experiencing a woman like her who has been appreciated all these years for the way she looks, also for her mind and the way she looks. I certainly appreciate the way she looks. Every time she stands up, my heart skips a beat. But that's beside the point, right? I actually also enjoy hearing her at times just expand on issues. Listening to her talk about her trauma after the car accident was amazing for me because I've never had an accident, so I've never understood what people go through. Also, when she and Joe have a real conversation, I really, really enjoy that. I think we've been getting less and less of that these days because I think Joe tends to lean more into his tripartite banter between himself, Ish, and Mel. He tends to lean into that more these days. But there were times where they used to have real conversations, and you can tell that these are two people who kind of like and enjoy riffing off each other, and it was fun to listen to. But to bring it back, I just want to say thank you to the host for making this a safe space for Mel. I'm a Melody, as might be obvious, and sometimes I'm aghast at reading some of the comments in the community. So I think it was very important to make her feel safe and welcome. And like somebody said, as she gets acclimatized to the space, she might be more relaxed and she might banter with us a lot more. But it was very important for the first outing that she felt safe and that the questions were not, aggressive and kind of pushing her to the wall. Because I think there was one instance where she answered the question and Dash asked her the question again because she didn't say what he wanted to hear. And I thought that was a bit rude, but we moved on. She was really gracious, and shout out Juicy and Micah in particular. Thanks, guys.
See, when I push and try to get an answer, it was like probably the first time she didn't answer. And if you could refer to the question, but
I
regardless
asked
of
the
that, like,
question actually. The
go ahead.
question you asked her was which style of podcasting she preferred. Was it a produced podcast where there was someone in her ear, or was it a podcast where she could riff and freestyle? Then she asked you which was which, and
Okay,
she said she preferred actually the one. She didn't have a preference, that she didn't care.
said
And
both. Yeah, she said both.
And
And then I
then
asked which one was
and no, no, no,
easier.
no, no. And then you said, really? You don't mind the someone in your ear? And then she told you, yeah, it's only really happened a few times. It's almost like you had a preconceived answer and you were a bit disappointed that she didn't give you that answer. And
No, I actually, look,
Dash
that's,
the,
no, hold on, hold
the
on, hold on, hold on. That's actually a question that somebody had like submitted, but I'm glad she gave the answer. But I thought there would have been one that's, worse to work with than the other. That's what I
You,
thought at the
you
time.
thought,
So
you thought. So her answer wasn't good enough because you thought she should have answered it one way. And then there's another thing you did. When Joe came into the room, you started denigrating the experience for the viewers. You started saying, we let her get her media trained shit off. Like, she literally answered every single question you asked her except one. And that one was, which did you prefer, your old crew or this crew or something along those.
that wasn't my
But
question.
was she, not you in
Dash,
particular.
you're being a bit
Yeah.
defensive. I get that.
Dash.
It
She
could be
cooked
hard.
your ass. She cooked your ass,
every,
Dash. It's
every
cool.
single question. So I think it was unfair for you to switch up the tone as soon as Joe got in the room. Like, stand on your square.
No,
Stand on
I
your
just
square. Don't do that. Don't do that. That was not nice of you to do. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
thank
you
you.
Rankin.
so
Thank
much.
you. Ice and then Aisha.
Yeah, that shit was fucking trash, bro. Mel was trash. Like I
Shut the fuck up, weak ass nigga. Go ahead, Ice.
Just so we can give Rankin some context, Rankin, that was actually my question that Dash asked when about which does she prefer? Does she prefer a produced a producer trying to help her with her thoughts versus the pod, which is more improv, although they do a little pre-production, their responses are basically their own. So that was my question. And I asked that because previously, she said that she had a producer on Hollywood Unlocked that would help them with the topics and things of that nature. So I wanted to know which one did she prefer um, based off her two experiences. So Dash wasn't doing anything but trying to ask a question and then clarifying it. Based on his understanding, and maybe I could have gave a little more context when I offered the question, but I think Dash tried to do his best in getting clarity on that question and answer.
Aisha, I'll take it a step further. This is the first time that we actually do an interview that was kind of produced, like really, really produced. And prior to this, it was yeah, we had a list of topic, but most of it was improvised, right? So we went through it pretty much today, and we feel like today was tougher than most other spaces. So that's why I had to ask. That's it. Like I thought it was a great question, Aisha. Thanks for submitting it.
No problem.
Well,
I think
I don't know if
no problem.
you
I
felt like
think
it
you
was tough
did your
about
best
it.
with trying to ask my question. So I just wanted to give her more context. So
Look, y'all, we appreciate all the questions. We asked the questions. I know y'all don't like a lot of y'all don't like zodiac shit, but literally, Micah, Juicy, Dash, all cancers. You're getting defensive cancer Dash right now. Like, please, just let that shit go. Let it
I'm,
rise so you can get comfortable with it. Cause Dash, you are being fucking defensive as fuck right now.
you forgot about me. I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, but
We
I was
didn't
talking
give a
about
We're
fuck.
you.
not talking
So
about you
I
right now, bro.
forget about you. I literally left you out because you're not a cancer.
Oh, I muted up. I'm good. Like this is the same
Um,
person that came up, and that's the same person that came up and called
Ash,
you
you did
rude.
a good
They didn't have.
job. You
Thank
did
you.
a
Thank
good job.
you.
she's unruly. Go ahead.
Hey y'all. Thank you for letting me up in this space to ask a question. Um, I just wanted to know, Joe Button, are you scared of Puff Daddy or are you gonna allow him to be an abuser? Because you're also an
Ma'am,
abuser.
ma'am, ma'am,
You,
ma'am,
you
ma'am.
know,
Are you
Come
Shut
on, let's
up.
not
Are
do
you
that.
bye,
Let's not do
man?
that.
We bringing shut the
Let's
fuck
not
up
do
back.
that.
Like I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. Y'all can make your little blogs and talk about me interrupting and shit, but y'all not gonna use a platform that we work really fucking hard on to try to like get your hate off. Like go tweet on your own TL with that bullshit.
man. It's about
Speaking on defensive, holy.
it's about that time, man.
She was about to
Yeah,
give
like
us
let's end this.
bad.
Y'all want some dumb shit.
I know, I know. Someone just told me to relax. That's what I'm saying. I'm relaxed, man. I'm good.
Dash.
Hold
You
on.
got mad because somebody was trying to like critique you with actual like proof of what you said.
Okay,
I
no, it's
got
cool,
upset
cool.
because somebody came on here saying some bullshit that you should be upset about too.
Oh no, I'm just staying muted up because you got it. That's why.
Thank you, thank you. Ian. Ian's been up here, Black Ian, of course. I hate that we have to refer to you as Black Ian, but I had a question for you. You, you obviously state that you are a fan of the pod, and you make appearances quite often, and you also run your own stuff. How do you know, feel about it? Do you still watch the pod? Do you still feel like an active fan, or how do you view things?
Yeah, I've always been a fan. I'm still a fan. I watch every episode, every Patreon. Joe won't say it, but I give him credit. He took me through like his pod boot camp, kind of adopted me and helped me get better at broadcasting at a point where I was like really talented at investing and breaking that down with my other areas of broadcasting were weak. So I'm always thankful for that. But yeah, I'm a super fan. I think they have the best talk show slash business show out in the last years. Not labeled at that, but like when I look at it, when Trap looks at it, when Troy and Rashad look at it, like that's the bar. I text them all the time, like, how the fuck you come up with the funny segment and then segue into the talks about the movies and the docs and shit, and then, like it's a science to that. So yeah, I've always remained, and I think it's important as men, if we are a fan of somebody, we have to say it. Ego, and that's why I've been like always super supportive of him and Corey and Ian and Flip and Ice and Ish.
Nigga, how
So
big is your house? That echo is like is your house like you like what the fuck is going on, Ian?
I got some space. I'll say.
So, it's like
My
Okay, if you was to put on your fan hat now, not not friend of the show, none of that, how would you describe Mel's performances when you see it? And I know you're a friend, so it's kind of hard to, but if you could be objective.
on the pod.
Yes, on the pod.
I think she's trying to find her spots of where to be dominant, and to be honest, it's tough. Like when they have six mics, Corey is people all around. Like even when we do Market Mondays, it's three of us, and we battle for space and time. So I can only imagine with all that energy. But I mean, I think she does a great job. I know people want to hear different things from her, but it's a art to like potting well and getting along with your castmates and putting shit on the board. So I mean, every show that I watch of ours and theirs, there's always stuff that you can do to improve. But I think as long as everyone's getting along, the content is always going to be good.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else? Let me say, Ennis, go ahead, Ennis.
Can you make it entertaining and it's
Jimmy, go ahead, Jimmy.
Hello?
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead, Ennis.
My bad, the mic off. All right, so I just wanted to kind of get like some clarification. Like the whole listening experience wasn't necessarily bad in my opinion. It was good to like learn more about Mel, but I just don't want to say like it was a hot seat because like in my honest opinion, those are some easy-ish kind of questions and like some of them were kind of tough, but it wasn't really like a hot seat. So I just think it fair to at least establish that point.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was. We was totally joking. It was not supposed to be a hot seat. This is not the type of thing it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be for us to be able to let y'all hear from Mel herself and get familiar with the community type of thing.
All right, cool. So it was kind of a safe space then for sure, right?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
That we were trying to make it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
yeah. I definitely promised a safe space. Like we all been promising a safe space. That's a big thing
All right,
for
cool.
today.
I just wanted to get clarification on that. But overall, though, it was a nice listening experience and also to learn more about Mel. So I'm grateful for that. And thank you for the opportunity to speak.
No problem. No problem. All right. It's a little past 10. This was sort of like a special interview type of day. We're not really going over the pod today. It was good for the pod this week to transfer the energy. It was a lot of bullshit. Drama after drama. This week it just felt like totally the funnies, and it even changed the way the community interacted with each other. So I think that was very special. It was good. Hopefully it continues. It was like I said, it's been a rough fourth quarter. Good, entertaining, but still rough. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's good times ahead. JBP, JBTV, all of it.
And if I'm not wrong, we'll be back next Saturday, right? Is that what we're doing?
Is it Christmas time already? Is it next
Bro, it's
Saturday?
flying. This year hauled ass. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. We blinked. Now it's New Year in 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
So is it
2 weeks.
Saturday at 7?
Yeah, I think so. This
Yes.
this time it'll be Saturday at 7, unless we change. Maybe we'll go to the Monday, but for now, yeah, Saturday 7 o'clock. That's when we'll be back.
Oh
Oakley doke.
wow, it's Christmas Eve too. Y'all go ahead and buy some stuff, or even save some money for the people who don't deserve stuff.
What?
What the
What?
fuck?
Yeah, he said some slick shit.
Sometimes you take people off the Christmas list and put that money right back in your pocket. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, I will say I'm definitely buying myself some Christmas stuff, but I don't even have to as much because like he doing good this Christmas. So y'all make sure y'all get your loved ones going. Have a good one.
Hey, yeah, we'll
Saturday
see
at
you guys next.
7.
See you guys
Yep.
next.
Bye.
Saturday 7 p.m. We'll be back. Follow at JBTV Spaces and follow the host. We'll be back then. Thank you. See
Peace.
y'all then. Peace.